W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilston Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
This is Eric at Hagerstown Ford. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hagerstown Ford, it is that convenient. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hagerstown Ford will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time at a car dealership playing the dumb back-and-forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want and get your new ride delivered to you at no risk. See dealer for details.
Happiness grows here. Orr's Farm Market.
Visit us at Orr's Farm Market, just 5 miles west of Martinsburg, to pick up all your local fresh fruits and vegetables. With our in-house bakery, fresh fruit slushies, and apple cider donuts, you can't go wrong. Live bluegrass every Saturday from 12 to 5 p.m. And check out all that's local and delicious at Orr's by going to orrsfarmmarket.com or visit our Facebook page.
Happiness grows here. Orr's Farm Market.
The following sports special is a broadcast presentation of Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg.
Dear Lord, the battles go through life.
Dear Lord, the battles go through life.
We ask for a chance is fair.
We ask for a chance is fair.
Chance to equal our strife.
Chance to equal our strife.
Chance to do it there.
Chance to do it there.
We should win.
We should win.
Let it be by the code.
Let it be by the code.
Faith and honor held high.
Faith and honor held high.
We should lose.
We should lose.
Stand by the road.
Stand by the road.
Cheers, the winners go by.
Cheers, the winners go by.
Day by day.
Day by day.
We get better and better.
We get better and better.
So we can't beat beat.
We can't beat beat.
Woo, beat, beat.
Who let the dogs out? It's time for the excitement of West Virginia high school football, featuring the AAA Martinsburg Bulldogs. To get you ready for today's play-by-play action, we'll bring you interviews, in-depth analysis, and important game information on the pregame show. So let's get things started by going to the stadium and join our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
Record. We welcome you into the Matt Miller broadcast booth now at Coburn Field, David M. Walker Stadium. I am Colin McLaughlin. Alongside me on the call is Dylan Bishop. And Dylan, I already said these two teams have a very great history in the state of West Virginia. Bridgeport, 10-time state champions in AA. Martinsburg, 9-time state champions in AAA. And it's a rematch of last year's semifinal. But what are you hoping to see tonight?
Right, first of all, Shayna had to be out last week, thanks to Matt Crawford. Thanks to Matt Crawford for filling in. Obviously, we appreciate all the things he does for us and has done in the past. But yeah, I'm glad to be back for this week because this is a great matchup between two powerhouse teams, and I think this is a really interesting matchup because it's going to be two teams that might be playing into each other's strengths in one way or another, because this is a Bridgeport team that is going to run the ball, and run the ball some more, and this is a Martinsburg Bulldogs team that their number one strength, at least in my opinion, is the run defense up front, with the defensive line led the way by Xerxes Yancey and Rashad Reed. So, and the cold weather out here is going to be interesting to watch because, Martinsburg likes to pass the ball a good bit more than Bridgeport's going to. If Bridgeport passes the ball more than about 3 times in this game, it'll be probably a bad night for them. But Martinsburg, with the cold weather out here, it's going to be really tough for these receivers to catch the ball. It's going to be a lot harder. So it's going to be something to watch out for in this one. But in general, this is a tough matchup here. Two really great teams. I'm looking forward to it.
I am, as well as, again, our pregame show is brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services like home and office automation, home theater, networking, audio, video distribution, and more. Phone 304-350-1931 or visit WHMsystems.com. Already introduced ourselves. Again, I'm Colin McLaughlin. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our great crew here tonight working double duty as we had Shepherd's game earlier today and the Rams getting that 16-13 win over New Haven. Our crew, again, Spencer Dupuis will be our sideline reporter as well as sideline camera. Our executive producer running our ATEM for the TV side is Braden Schaffner, and our main cameraman up top is Matt Miller. And we want to give a huge shout out to our typical executive on-site producer, Donna Schaffner, who unfortunately is out sick at home, so hoping that she feels better soon and that she enjoys tonight's broadcast. And we hope that everybody tuned in on either Talk Radio WRNR, WRNR TV on YouTube enjoy the broadcast today as the Bulldogs host the Bridgeport Indians. And Dylan, you already mentioned Bridgeport loves to run the ball. They got two guys already over 1,000 yards rushing on the year, and that's Philip Reed as well as Zach Rohrig. But it's going to be a tough challenge tonight for them as they go up against Martinsburg, who defensively had held teams all season long under 50 yards rushing per game.
Yeah, it's a single wing offense for Bridgeport. I almost misspoke there because I was going to say, if you tuned into EPAC action throughout this year and years prior, you would know the single wing offense because Washington has run that offense. So Martinsburg's gotten a little bit of a taste of that already this year. So this is going to be a lot different than that one because obviously Washington only ended up winning a couple of games this year. This Bridgeport team is the number 6 team in the state of West Virginia, so it's going to be a lot better version of the single wing run with more success compared to what they might have seen earlier this year against the Patriots. But I think it's going to play to the strength of the Bulldogs because, like we said, defensive line has been absolutely stout this entire year.
Let's now welcome into the Matt Miller broadcast booth, who's typically on the sideline but up here now to give us our check of the area schedule, Spencer Dupuis. And the check of the area schedule is brought to you by Sunset Water Services, proudly installing water softeners in Martinsburg and Berkeley County since 1989. Spencer, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Colin. Not our typical check of the area schedule, as all the other games in Class AAA have already been played. But we'll get you a recap from last week. Obviously, this game for Martinsburg, you get the 42-14 victory over number 14 Morgantown, and then you look elsewhere around the state. We'll talk about the Thursday game. Musselman, the number 8 team last week, got a 28-23 win over the number 9 team Wheeling Park. And then you look number 2 Huntington getting a 62-22 victory over number 15 Woodrow Wilson, as well as Hurricane getting as number 14 getting a 56-13 win over number 13 University. Number 5 George Washington, really the only close game of the closest game of last week, got a 31-28 victory over number 12 Princeton. 31-28 was the score there. And then last Saturday, number 1 Parkersburg South beat Hedgesville, the 16th ranked team, 78-12. That moves us to this week. We'll start with last night's ball games, as number 1 Parkersburg South all over number 8 Musselman, 58-14. It was a snowy, blistery night out there in Parkersburg South, and I believe, from what I understand, Musselman ended up having to stay the night because of the roads. They couldn't get back after the game. But Musselman's season ends. The great season ends at 8-4 as the number 1 team moves on. Not shocking at all. It's the number 1 team. The other game last night, number 4 Hurricane against number 5 George Washington, which a lot of people thought was going to be a close game because it was the 2 closest seeds that were left playing, the 4 and the 5. That was not really shocking to some people like us, or not like me. I thought it was going to be a close
game. I was about to say, I told you and Nick told you
thought
that
it was going to be a blowout. And it was 56-28. Hurricane gets the win. They move on to the next round. And then this afternoon, down in Huntington, number 2 Huntington defeats number 10 Jefferson 51-7. And it was a quick start for the Huntington Highlanders. They got out to a 24-0 lead by halftime, and it was really just all over with that Gavin Lockow and Ray Jackson. I can't remember his name now.
Zaza Jackson?
Zaza Jackson, yes.
Go.
Zaza Jackson. Those two combined for a great day. And that sets up next week's matchup as number 1 Parkersburg South will host number 4 Hurricane. And then the winner of tonight's ball game between number 6 Bridgeport and number 3 Martinsburg will travel to number 2 Huntington. I can tell you that if Martinsburg does indeed win the game will be next Saturday at 1:30 p.m. at Highlander Stadium.
Yes. Thank you, Spencer. Let's take our first break on the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. You'll hear from Spencer again at halftime with Coach Britt Sherman and at the post game, and then we'll try to maybe get it down to during the end of the pregame for the officials as well. But Spencer, appreciate you being up here with us.
Thanks for having me on tonight.
So let's take that 4-minute break and then be back for more. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Thinking about making that big move but don't know where to start? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group. Chris is a Martinsburg High School graduate and knows the local market, and he's proven it for the past 15 years at Milestone Real Estate Group. Looking to sell or buy a home? Phone 304-579-7349. That's 304-579-7349. Or go to callchrisross.com. Making milestones is our business.
You've been in an accident. The choice of a lawyer may be the biggest decision you make for you and your family's future. At Mansion Ferretti, we offer a free consultation and no fees until we win your case. Call us today and protect your future. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs? Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
Jambo Construction and Fencing Company, LLC is a veteran-owned and operated company right here in the Eastern Panhandle, West Virginia that specializes in decks, fencing, and hardscaping. Find us on Facebook at Jambo Construction and Fencing to see more of the projects we've completed. For a free estimate, you can call Bo Bartley at 304-268-5452 or Jamie Gall at 304-279-5053. We are licensed and insured in the state of West Virginia, and as Martinsburg alums, we say, Go Bulldogs.
If you're in an accident, the first thing that you have to do is call 911. You have to get medical care immediately.
The next thing you need to do is call us. When you hire us at the Skinner Law Firm, what we do is we are going to investigate your case and we're going to lay out the options that you have, all at no cost to you.
We will use all of our resources and all of our experience to get you what you deserve.
The Skinner Law Firm, SkinnerFirm.com.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Welcome back to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium as we're at the W. Harley Miller Systems pre-game show as the Bridgeport Indians come to Martinsburg, West Virginia tonight to take on your Martinsburg Bulldogs. Colin McLaughlin here alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our crew tonight is Spencer Dupuis, Braden Schaffner, and Matt Miller. And let's now break down the visiting Bridgeport Indians, who again come in with an overall record of 9 wins and 2 losses, getting a 41-13 win last week in the round 1 of the Class AAA playoffs over Cabell Midland to make it a 3-game win streak, and those 3 wins are all in dominating fashion for Bridgeport. To end the regular season, they had a 62-14 win against Lincoln, and at Musselman they were able to handle business as well with a 62-21 win. Their 2 losses come to teams that both were in the playoffs. Princeton, who was so close last week to getting the win over George Washington, they were the ones to beat Bridgeport 34-29 to give them the second loss. But the first loss, it was week 2 of the season against Morgantown by a final score of 10-6. Dylan, this team, 2 1,000-yard rushers I've already mentioned, but I'll let you talk a little bit more about those guys.
Yeah, they have 2 guys. It's a single wing offense, like I mentioned in the first segment. It's kind of designed to make it to where you have 2 guys in the backfield where really either guy could get it at any time. You're either kind of a QB keeper or a handoff, or one guy could even be snapped to either guy at any time as well. And those 2 guys that they have there are the quarterback Phil Reed and the running back Zach Rohrig, who so far this year, Rohrig has rushed for 1,500 yards, 1,542 to be exact, and 19 rushing touchdowns on 169 attempts, putting him at almost 9 yards per carry. And Phil Reed as well is over 1,000 yards. He's at 1,096 and 12 rushing touchdowns on 144 carries, so he's over 7 yards a carry. So, this is a team that rushes for 388 yards per game. On average, they've had 65 rushing touchdowns this year. They're averaging 7.9 yards per rush. So this is a team that, like we mentioned in the first segment, if they pass the ball really more than about 3 times, their average so far this year, Phil Reed has thrown the ball exactly 25 times this year for 10 completions, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So that tells you exactly the kind of, game plan that they're running, just over 2 passes per game. So if they're running the ball, if they're passing the ball more than that, then that tells you that they're probably in trouble. So that's what they're going to do. But it plays right into the strength of Martinsburg with this rushing attack, or its rushing defense in Rashad Reed, Xerxes Yancey, guys like that up on the front. That's going to be very tough for Bridgeport to stop. But they're going to do their best. They're not going to break away from that game plan here tonight. That's what they do. A single-wing offense, once you've committed to it, you are committing to it. You are going to run the ball, and you're going to run it a lot. So that means that their offensive line is going to be one of the most important factors in this game overall. Maybe the most important factor of this entire game and its result is how well does the Bridgeport offensive line play in this game, because you have guys up front that are going to be coming your way, trying to stop those guys, Reed and Rohrig, in the backfield. Try to stop them for losses, try to make sure that they can't get that rushing game going and have almost 400 yards rushing like they have all season long, including last week against Cabell Midland.
These 2 teams' familiarity with one another continues to grow, as this will be the 4th meeting all-time between these 2, and it depends on who you ask, though, Dylan. If you ask a Martinsburg fan, they'll say the all-time series, probably, is 2-1 Martinsburg over Bridgeport. The most recent meeting last year in that semifinal, it was a 21-0 win for Martinsburg here at Coburn Field last year. over Bridgeport to advance to the state championship, in which everybody remembers Martinsburg got the win over Huntington. However, if you ask a Bridgeport fan what the all-time series is between these two teams, they'll probably tell you it's tied up at 2-2, because in 2020 it was supposed to be Martinsburg-Bridgeport in the quarterfinals, but because of the color map back during COVID that everybody remembers and nobody wants to really talk about anymore.
Yeah, we try not to remember it.
Martinsburg had to forfeit and was eliminated from the playoffs. Bridgeport moved on, and that following week, if I remember correctly, they actually got eliminated to that color map, and ultimately by default, just because of the last remaining team, it was South Charleston, if I remember correctly, that was named the state champions. But yeah, so it depends on who you ask what this all-time series is. If you count the forfeit, it's 2-2. Series is tied up. But if you ask Martinsburg, you play the game on the field, and it's 2-1 Bulldogs over the Indians.
And again, that's one of the only 2 years of the last 11 that did not end in a Martinsburg Bulldogs state championship. So if you ask anyone around here, I'm sure they'll tell you that really Martinsburg has won 9 of the last 10 state championships, and the 11th one really doesn't count for anybody because, for one, it was during that weird year, and for two, they didn't have to play Martinsburg to get there. They didn't have to beat Martinsburg to get there. So there's probably, for those reasons alone, that's probably what people would consider. So, I mean, it's going to be a fun matchup for, kind of those reasons, if nothing else, because, I mean, these two teams are powerhouses in AAA and AA before Bridgeport moved up. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
All right, let's take another break on the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. And on the other side of that break, you will hear from the head coach of the Bridgeport Indians, Tyler Fairs. And then we'll be back for more of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. After that, you're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Hello, this is Mark Sutton of the Sutton & Janelle Law Firm. The right attorney can make all the difference in your case. That's why you should call Sutton & Janelle. We have been serving clients in West Virginia and Maryland since 1999 in the areas of family law, DUI, criminal defense, and personal injury. Sutton & Janelle works hard to obtain a favorable outcome for you at a reasonable rate with affordable payment options. Sutton & Janelle values your rights and is passionate about your success. Contact us today at suttonandjanelle.com.
Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for dollar wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the cornhole tourney, Friday night lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for steak night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? No matter what you think, you can have it either way. Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
Rise and shine. You're gonna be late for work. Good morning, sleepyhead. Have a good one.
Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
The Parsons Ford Unimaginable Black Friday sale is going on now. Ford Explorers factory invoice pricing, Ford Expeditions factory invoice pricing, and Ford F-150s factory invoice pricing. That's right, you didn't hear me wrong. Factory invoice pricing. That's way below MSRP. Only at Parsons Ford this week. But wait, there's more. Are you worried about high interest rates? We've got you covered. We're offering 2.9% for this sale. Stop on by Parsons Ford today for this unimaginable Black Friday sale.
Welcome back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's now time for the coaches' interviews, brought to you by Parsons Ford of Martinsburg. They're located at 1400 Shepherdstown Road and online at parsonsford.com. They became number one by making you number one first, Parsons. As I'm now joined on the pregame show by Coach Tyler Fairs of the Bridgeport Indians. Coach Fairs, a impressive win for your team last week against Cabell Midland to advance to this week's game. What did you like from your team last week in that win?
we've had some issues with turnovers and penalties earlier in the year. Our kids have been playing clean for the past few weeks. Not putting the ball on the ground, taking care of it, carrying out good fakes, and blocking extremely well.
And overall, as a season, in the regular season, your team went 8-2. 2 guys over 1,000 yards rushing again. This program, one of the best in the state historically. What have you liked in your second year, just seeing the growth whenever you've took over for the Indians?
We've had some kids, in and out of our program, but the kids that have stayed are loyal kids that work hard. They're not the most physically impressive kids to see, but they're hard workers, and they put their nose to the grindstone, and they want to get better every week. And because of that, we have the success that we do.
How much has it helped your program, too, moving up to Class AAA?
It's just set a different standard for sure. We know, you can't have an off week. You can't take a step back. If you don't come to work every week and you get to the playoffs and you haven't been improving, then you're going to run into a buzzsaw at some point.
What are the strengths of your team this year?
Blocking and tackling.
Can you go a little bit more into detail for those two?
Our kids, we work fundamentals tremendously. Our pad level, we're one of the few shoulder blocking teams in the state. We're trying to lower our pad level weekly, and that's gotten better. And then tackling, whether it's one-on-one tackling or pursuing to the football with multiple people and helping our team out as best we can, I feel like we've progressed well throughout the season.
From week 1 up until now, what are some things that you've seen from your team that they've really grown in?
Like I said, team defense and team offense, caring about each other, carrying out fakes, understanding each other's roles, and executing those roles.
This week, you guys take on Martinsburg. It's a rematch of last year's semifinal. What have you seen from this year's Martinsburg team when you've been able to watch film?
They're impressive as always. Got a lot of speed, a lot of skill. Both quarterbacks are very talented. We were talking about, you've got the thrower and you got the runner, but really, both of them can make plays. Talking about Clement and Bajent, they can both run. They can both throw the football. Obviously, Bajent throws it a little bit more. Clement throws it a little bit more, but he, like I said, 23 attempts on the year there than you'd expect to see. But they're both very talented players. Offensive line has grown throughout the year. As we've seen, they're big, strong. And they can move well. So perimeter screen game has caught our attention, and we know that we've got to fly to the football to tackle their exceptional ball carriers and receivers.
What have you guys been focusing in on this week in practice to gear up for the game?
Just team defense, team offense. Worried about ourselves, making sure we're playing our best brand of Bridgeport football.
What are your keys to get a win this week in advance?
Just like anything you would think, you can't beat yourself. You gotta hone in on special teams, make sure that'll be a big part. Field position's important, and like I said, taking care of the football and making tackles.
Who are some of the guys on your team that we can watch out for in the game against Martinsburg Saturday night?
Kamar Summers, offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Phil Reed, fullback and middle linebacker. Zach Rorig, safety, tailback. Charlie Brazier, wingback and outside backer. I got some more guys. Ty Martin, defensive back, wingback. Those are the biggest right off the get-go.
How much would it mean to your program to get the win and knock off Martinsburg?
I think anybody in the state, going to Martinsburg and beating Martinsburg would be, a heck of a boost to anybody right now. They're at the top of the totem pole there, and everybody's gunning for them. Obviously, they have a ton of success recently, especially, and they're the best in the state. We're excited to see how our kids stack up against them.
That was Coach Tyler Ferris of the Bridgeport Indians. This segment brought to you by Parsons Ford of Martinsburg. They became #1 by making you #1 first. We'll be back for more of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show after this. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer deaths in the United States each year. But do you know the radon levels in your home? Home is a place to live, love, and laugh, not a place to breathe air containing radon. The Berkeley and Morgan County Health Departments are distributing free confidential radon test kits, and you can get yours at the Berkeley County Health Department office in Martinsburg and the Morgan County Health Department office in Berkeley Springs. Protect your home and family. Get your free radon test kit today.
If you're in an accident, the first thing that you have to do is call 911. You have to get medical care immediately.
The next thing you need to do is call us. When you hire us at the Skinner Law Firm, what we do is we are going to investigate your case, and we're going to lay out the options that you have, all at no cost to you.
We will use all of our resources and all of our experience to get you what you deserve.
The Skinner Law Firm, SkinnerFirm.com.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be this football season. Join us Fridays for Martinsburg Bulldog games, Saturdays for Shepherd Rams and WVU games, and every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday nights for the NFL primetime games. We still have steak night every Wednesday, shrimp nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. So come on in and enjoy the Palace Lounge. We're located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. Welcome back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube, as we're at Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium in Martinsburg, West Virginia, as your Martinsburg Bulldogs play host to the Bridgeport Indians tonight in Class AAA football quarterfinals. And let's now take a look at Martinsburg, who, again, 9-2 overall, just like Bridgeport, getting a win last week, 42-14 over Morgantown in a very wet and cool evening. Maybe not as cold as tonight, but the weather did play a factor, especially in the second half and especially at halftime, as it caused a lightning delay that lasted an hour. So when both teams came out, they had to redo warm-ups for 15 minutes, and you could tell it really helped Martinsburg but hurt Morgantown, because it was 14-7 at the half.
Yeah, Martinsburg came out kind of flat last week. They had a lot of penalties. There were a lot of, turnovers, turnaround downs, or, just kind of self-inflicted errors that kept them from really opening up that game earlier than they ended up doing so. I think that time, that layoff, like you mentioned, at halftime gave them a lot of time to reset, regroup, refocus, and kind of get things right. And the only team that has beaten Martinsburg this year, in a sense, has been Martinsburg, when they shoot themselves in the foot and give themselves a lot of penalties. And we have to remember, those two losses on the schedule, neither of those are to teams in the state of West Virginia. And now we are in the West Virginia State Tournament. Those two losses coming to teams out of Ohio and Virginia, Highland Springs, and Riverside. So this is a team that I think Martinsburg is really the only team that can say that so far this year, that they have not lost to another team in the state of West Virginia. So this is I think even though they're the 3 seed, and if they win this game, they would have to go on to an away game at Huntington, still the favorite to win the state tournament until they lose, because this is just a team that has a lot of firepower on it. And it's been through the air and it's been on the ground so far this year. They're averaging 431 yards of offense per game, 171 of that on the ground and 259 of that through the air. And, of course, led by quarterback Ezra Bajent, whose brother Tyson won in the first round of the NCAA tournament this afternoon. And in the process of it became the D2 all-time career leader in passing yards in that game. By 1 yard, he ended up breaking that record today. But Ezra Bajent, 34 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the year, 2,684 passing yards on the year. Those 7 interceptions really, until even just a game or two ago, that was down at 4 interceptions. He's been taking care of the ball really well this year. Has not made a lot of mistakes. The offense doesn't really allow him to make a lot of mistakes. He gets a lot of opportunities to just let his receivers make some easy plays. The receivers don't make easy plays, but it makes it easy on him because he has guys out on the side like Jameer Hunter and Buzz Dover, who both have double-digit touchdowns on the year. So it's a high-powered offense that can pass and run on this Bridgeport defense, and they're going to be a lot of fun to watch, as they have been every week this year.
All right, let's take our final break on the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show, our final list of breaks, as it'll be a 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, you'll hear from Britt Sherman, the head coach of the Bulldogs, and we'll have another 2-minute break after that. And after that, you'll hear from both Murphy Clement as well as,
Trying to remember who I interviewed. But you'll get the Inside the Huddle, and then after that, a 2-minute break, and then we'll be back. You're tuned in to West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube. The Parsons Ford Unimaginable Black Friday sale is going on now. Ford EcoSports Factory Invoice Pricing, Ford Escapes Factory Invoice Pricing, and Ford Edge Factory Invoice Pricing. That's right, you didn't hear me wrong. Factory Invoice Pricing. That's way below MSRP. Only at Parsons Ford for this week. But wait, there's more. Are you worried about high interest rates? We've got you covered. We're offering 2.9% for this sale. Stop by Parsons Ford today for this unimaginable Black Friday sale.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Happiness grows here. Orr's Farm Market.
Visit us at Orr's Farm Market, just 5 miles west of Martinsburg, to pick up all your local fresh fruits and vegetables. With our in-house bakery, fresh fruit slushies, and apple cider donuts, you can't go wrong. Live bluegrass every Saturday from 12 to 5 p.m. And check out all that's local and delicious at Orr's by going to orrsfarmmarket.com or visit our Facebook page.
Happiness grows here. Orr's Farm Market.
Hello?
We're here again 3 times in the past 2 days.
You're where?
Bechtel Jewelers. Look.
Can Mom hear you?
No, she's in a diamond coma. Get her the pendant, or I will.
Hey, that's my credit card.
What? Can't hear you, Dad. You're breaking up.
It's gonna take more than a crying baby to wake her out of this diamond coma. You're gonna need a mega dose of jewelry from Bechtel Jewelers.
We welcome you back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's now time for the coaches' interviews, brought to you by Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, located at 1400 Shepherdstown Road and online at parsonsford.com. They became number 1 by making you number 1 first. Parsons, I'm now joined alongside the head coach of the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Britt Sherman. Coach Sherman, 42-14 win last week for your squad against Morgantown. It was a slow start, but in the end, you guys got the job done, what it mattered the most. What'd you like from your team?
Well, I like the way that we came out and faced adversity, and we played a lot better in the second half. We had a lot of turnovers in the first half, and we were just playing out of character. And, you know, it just wasn't a very good start for us for the playoffs, but I thought the second half was a lot better and, you know, something we can build off going into this round.
And with that being said, what are some of the things that you're trying to improve on this week?
Well, taking care of the football and, you know, just taking care of our own. You know, we were, it's almost like water on the bathroom floor or something. We were tiptoeing around and just like not doing what we were supposed to do. So, you know, we figured it out and you know, one of the things that we try to pride ourselves in is not making the same mistakes twice. And hopefully we do that this week.
In the first half, it seemed like the connection between Ezra as well as Zion was on point, though, to keep you guys on top with 2 touchdowns. Just talk about their performance as a whole.
Yeah, Zion's bailed us out a couple different times this year. You know, had a great catch at the beginning of the Jefferson game. We were sputtering and took a long run in for a touchdown, and then you know, had a couple of really good catches there, and should have had another touchdown catch that was batted down there in the first half. But he's a really good little receiver as well as a running back, and I can't say enough about how hard he's worked. And you know, he's just such a good kid, and for his senior year to be able to come out and perform like he has, it's just been impressive.
And then in the second half, it was 3 touchdowns for Murphy to get your team going and take control, and then capped off by a touchdown pass from Ezra to Jameer Hunter. But we'll talk later on with Murphy. What'd you like about his game, and how nice was it to see him finally get those 3 touchdowns after it seemed like a slow majority of the regular season.
Yeah, it's good to have Murph back in the swing of things. You know, the plan was to do the exact same thing we did last year at the beginning of the year, and then with his foot just getting sore at times and you know, not being 100%, we tried to take it easy as we could on him. But, you know, I want him in the game every play, whether it's at receiver, running back, quarterback, safety, returner. You know, I want to get him the ball as much as I possibly can because he's a big-time player. And just having him back in the swing of things, getting a couple touchdown runs and looking like the old Murph was good to see.
And then another guy that we saw, E.J. Hendricks, went down with an injury. What will be his status for the game?
Yeah, E.J. will be out. He's still waiting test results and things like that. But, you know, while that's happening, he'll be out for right now.
And now let's focus in on the matchup against Bridgeport, a team that you guys are familiar with last year in the semifinal, getting the 21-0 win at home. What's the difference that you've seen from this year's Bridgeport team compared to last year?
Well, it's kind of similar to us. They have a lot of the same pieces back, but they have their differences as well. So, you know, they lost some really good, the Reppert kid last year. They lost him. They lost a couple other key pieces, but, you know, they just reload. And they're a dynasty, and they're just a great program, and they're a well-oiled machine. So, you know, the things that they do are hard to duplicate in practice, and they do what they do really, really well. And it's hard to stop. They play solid defense as well. And so, you know, it's a tall task anytime you play them.
What does your team need to do to get the win?
We need to take care of the football. We need to make the most out of our possessions, and we need to play great defense. Great defense in the box, and then also we have to be able to tackle once they get into our secondary.
Last week you guys took on Morgantown. Since 2001, it's been Morgantown and Martinsburg that have had the best record in the state, and you just mentioned a dynasty in Bridgeport. So how special is it for your program to go up against those two programs to start off the postseason?
Well, I said last week I thought it was kind of like a second-round game, and then we played Bridgeport in the semis last year, so the second-round game is almost like a semi game. So, you know, I think we have a pretty hard draw with these teams, very physical teams, so it's definitely going to be something that we earn if we continue to advance through the playoffs.
And the EPAC this year has looked really solid. 3 teams left out of the final 8, which means a potential to have 3 of the final 4 teams. So how much did playing that EPAC schedule really help your team this year?
Well, it's just good to see. It's good to see people in our conference advancing past the first round, getting into playoffs, having 4 of the 6 in the playoffs is great because, you know, we beat up on each other. A lot of people talk about the MSAC, and maybe we're like the goose or the wingman to the MSAC or whatever. I don't know, but we get 4 out of 6 of our schools in, and that's good because, you know, it's better for football in this area. And so getting 4 of the 6 in, having 3 of the 6 advance, you know, I just think it shows how strong our conference has gotten.
All righty, Coach, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I would like to congratulate our players that are in college right now that have received Player of the Year awards. Tyson Bagent, the PSAC Player of the Year, Gerard Bowie, the MEC Offensive Player of the Year as well, and Coach Walker, the Coach of the Year in the MEC. And then we also had first team guys in Ty Lucas and Dwayne Grantham from Shepherd. Ty, an offensive tackle, and Dwayne, a defensive, he's a linebacker. And then Adam Stilley got second team O-lineman. So a lot of former Bulldogs doing great things, and we're proud of them.
All righty, Coach, thank you and good luck.
Thank you, guys.
This has been the Coach's Interview brought to you by Parsons Ford of Martinsburg. They became #1 by making you #1 first. We'll be back for more of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. After this, you're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Mountaineer Grill and Pub offers many daily specials, including Trivia Night Monday, Karaoke Tuesday, Steak Night Wednesday and Sunday, Thursday night Boneless Wing Night, and on Friday and Saturday nights, there'll be a DJ and or karaoke. And remember, Monday through Friday, happy hour, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., $2 domestic bottles and $2.50 domestic drafts.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Hello, this is Mark Sutton of the Sutton & Janelle Law Firm. The right attorney can make all the difference in your case. That's why you should call Sutton & Janelle. We have been serving clients in West Virginia and Maryland since 1999 in the areas of family law, DUI, criminal defense, and personal injury. Sutton & Janelle works hard to obtain a favorable outcome for you at a reasonable rate with affordable payment options. Sutton & Janelle values your rights and is passionate about your success. Contact us today at suttonandjanelle.com.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs? Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
Hi, this is Lauren from Orsini's right here in Martinsburg. Grilling is not just for the boys. We are a Platinum Traeger dealer carrying the Pro Series all the way up to the Timberline Series. We have every flavor of wood pellets along with accessories, rubs, sauces. Not just Traeger, we carry Utz, Meat Church, Lanes, and Dizzy Pig. We also carry a full line of Yeti products. Orsini's has everything to complete your backyard. Visit us at 360 Hack Wilson Way or at Orsinis.com.
Welcome back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's now time to go in the huddle, brought to you by the Mirius Group of Ameriprise Financial Advisors, John Everson and Phil McCoy. They're located at 1270 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. Phone them at 304-263-4343. I'm now joined by Cam Shallis of the Martinsburg Bulldogs. And Cam, your season continues. A big win last week against Morgantown. What'd you like from your game and the team's game as a whole?
I think we did great defensively. I mean, offense wasn't their usual self. They had some mistakes and they weren't really clicking in the first half. So we really stepped up as a defense, and that followed throughout the whole game. So I was really proud of how our defense performed against a really good and really physical Morgantown team.
And for you, you've already mentioned that you get to be a preferred walk-on. You chose WVU. How special is that for you, and what are you looking forward to?
I mean, it's awesome. I've been up to a couple game day visits there. I mean, getting to talk to Coach Brown and the linebackers coach, Coach Coons, it's a really family-oriented type of program, and it's just such a special place to be a part of, especially since all the history that I have there.
It's your senior season. What's been your favorite moment so far this year?
I mean, just the connections that you've built through the past 4 years, and then just getting to hang out with these guys still and get to play more is just overall that's probably the best part.
What are some goals that you've already accomplished this year, and what are some goals that you still have in place?
I wanted to continue to lead the defense this year, and right now I am. Not only statistically, but also from a leader perspective. So that was one of my biggest goals so far that I've accomplished.
This week you guys take on Bridgeport, a very run-heavy team. You played them last year in the semifinal. What can we expect from you in the defense this week?
I mean, it's going to be a very physical game. It's going to be played inside a 10-yard box, and that's what we've been told all week. Last year was one of the most physical games I've ever played in. They're very well ran, very well organized. They know what they're doing, and they do it very well. And they got some dudes that like to hit. So it's going to be real physical. You're going to hear a lot of pads cracking.
Not only is your presence known on the defensive side, but it's even grown on the offensive side now as an H-back to really being a lead blocker for Murphy, who we'll hear from here after you. But what have you liked growing in that role this year?
I mean, I think it's great. Ever since I started here in Martinsburg, Coach Sherman's incorporated that with me, and he's told me that as long as I keep working, then my role is going to grow and grow as an H-back and a fullback type formations. And that's just awesome. Getting to be a part of that and being part of the offense, and even every once in a while get the ball myself. It's real great.
All right, man. Any final thoughts?
No, go Bulldogs as always.
All right, thank you and good luck. I'm now joined by Murphy Clement of the Martinsburg Bulldogs. Murphy, great game for you last week, especially in the second half. 3 touchdowns. What was it like for you to finally have a breakout game this year, it seemed like?
It's nice. It was a little slow start in the first half, but coming out in the second half, we were hungry. We weren't satisfied with the first half. We knew we had to step it up a little bit and clean it up, and that's what we did. And couldn't do it without linemen and everything. Good blocks, good everything.
And this year we've seen you all around on the offensive side, quarterback, running back, wide receiver. It doesn't matter. You have been terrific at each spot. Just talk about your versatility and how much it means to you and getting to be that type of player.
I love it because at the end of the day, it's not what I want to do, it's what the team needs me to do. So wherever they need me, I'll play at. And for the next level for college, whoever they need me to play, I'll play wherever they need me.
This week you guys take on Bridgeport, a very run-heavy team. You guys played them last year. You were not in the game, though. So what will it be like for you this year to finally get to take your shot at Bridgeport?
It's going to be nice. Going to be a really physical game, though. Going to be cold, too. But I'm glad I'm going to be able to play it this time because it hurt a little bit not being able to play last year with Hudson and them. And, yeah.
What are you looking forward to most this year?
Probably actually being able to play them this year instead of watching my teammates and brothers all play against them.
What have you seen out of the film this week from Bridgeport that you're really happy to hope to execute against?
They run sort of the same defense as Morgantown, and we saw we had a good bit of success against Morgantown, so it's looking like we got high hopes for them too.
What are some goals that you've already accomplished this year, and what are some goals that you still have in place?
One goal was getting an offer, and I got the Old Dominion offer, but goal I'm trying to get still is getting the championship, and that's just the main goal right now.
What do you feel like your strengths are?
Running, just like anything they really need me to be at, I'll be able to do it.
Alrighty, what's been your favorite moment so far this year?
Honestly, probably the long run against Musselman, the 98-yard touchdown. That was nice.
I had it as a 99, but I think it did go down as a 98. But yeah. We'll try to get you a 99-yarder this week. How about that?
Yeah.
So any final thoughts, man?
No, that's all.
All right, thank you for your time and good luck.
Thank you.
Again, a big thank you to Cam Shallis and Murphy Clement of Martinsburg for the Inside the Huddle segment this week, brought to you by the Mirius Group of Ameriprise Financial Advisors, John Everson and Phil McCoy. They're located at 1270 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. You can call them at 304-263-4343. We'll take another break on the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show and be back for more after this. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Jambo Construction and Fencing Company, LLC, is a veteran-owned and operated company right here in the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia that specializes in decks, fencing, and hardscaping. Find us on Facebook at Jambo Construction and Fencing to see more of the projects we've completed. For a free estimate, you can call Bo Bartley at 304-268-5452 or Jamie Gall at 304-279-5053. We are licensed and insured in the state of West Virginia, and as Martinsburg alums, we say, Go Bulldogs.
Hi, it's Talk Radio WRNR and TV10 Spencer Dupuis. When I got into a car accident and needed to get another vehicle, I wanted to go somewhere I could trust. So I went to the Heffley Motor Company at 993 Hedgesville Road.
As a first-time car buyer, I really didn't know what to expect. But at Heffley, they treated me like family. Every step in the process was seamless. Not only did they give me a great deal, but they also helped me secure an amazing interest rate. Now I know firsthand why Heffley has such a great reputation in this community.
I ride with Heffley Motor Company, so you should too.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? No matter what you think, you can have it either way. Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's Local Market.
Rise and shine. You're gonna be late for work. Good morning, sleepyhead. Have a good one.
Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's Local Market.
Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for Dollar Wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the Cornhole Tourney, Friday Night Lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for Steak Night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
We welcome you back to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium as the Martinsburg High School Marching Band concludes the national anthem. And let's get right into our starting lineups, brought to you by Jambo Construction and Fencing LLC, a veteran-owned company that specializes in decks, fencing, and hardscaping. For a free estimate, you can call Bo Bartley at 304-268-5452. Defensively for Bridgeport, you got Ryan Hall, Kamar Summer, Wes Brown, and Aiden Sparks up front. The linebackers are Charlie Brazier, Philip Reed, Camden Hess, and John Bender. And then you got Jack Spadator, Josh Love, and Ty Martin. Offensively, the offensive line for Bridgeport's Wes Brown, Mario Galindo, Quinn D'Amato, Bew Ford, and Kamar Summer. In the backfield, you'll have Philip Reed, Zach Rohrig, Ryan Hall, Cam Martin, and Ty Martin, and then Josh Love. For Martinsburg, starting lineups for them on the offensive side: at quarterback Ezra Bajan, at running back Zion Grantham. The wide receivers are Buzz Dover, Murphy Clement, Roman Pearson, and Jameer Hunter. Your offensive lines: Peyton Kaufman, Eden Fleming, Will Bash, Rashad Reed, and Wes Hancock. Defensively, up front for the Bulldogs is Aiden Fleming, Rashad Reed, and Eric King. The linebackers are Cam Shalish, Jimmy Harden, Dominic Brinkley, and Braden Herring. Your safeties are Roman Pearson and Jamar Hunter. And your corners are Avion Blackwood and Buzz Dover. Those are your starters for both sides. And let's now get our keys to the game. The key to your next car is brought to you by the Heffley Motor Company, located at 993 Hedgesville Road in Martinsburg. You're local, we're local, so why not buy local? Spencer rides with them, so you should too.
So I'm going to start out with Martinsburg. Obviously, we're going to go with the obvious key to the game is you have to shut down the running attack of the Bridgeport offense with that single wing. You know they're going to run the ball. This has been the strength of your offense, strength of your defense all year when it comes to facing offenses. Shut it down tonight, and you should be able to win. And also, you need to play mistake-free football. A lot of times, it's been penalties and self-inflicted errors and stuff like that that have made things a little more difficult for Martinsburg than they needed to be. It happened last week. That's why it was only 14-7 at halftime against Morgantown. Then, again, for Bridgeport, the offensive line needs to play lights out. You're not going to win this game if the defensive line of the Bulldogs outplays the offensive line of the Indians. And don't make a small play into a big play on defense. If Martinsburg throws a 5-yard hitch route to Buzzed Over, tackle him there. Don't let him turn that into 5, 10, 20 more yards.
All right, that's your keys to the game. Thank you, Dylan. Let's now quickly get our game officials, brought to you by Brown Funeral Homes and Cremations, Robert Fields & Sons, a family-owned full-service funeral home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson, proudly serving the area since 1880. Your referees, Robert Bates. The umpire is Marty Jones. The line judge is Tim Thomas. Linesman is Henry Neal. Field judge is Billy Bush. And the side judge is John Mills. And the officials are from New River Gorge, West Virginia, as Bridgeport takes the field first on the far side in the red helmets, white uniforms, and red pants. We will wait for Martinsburg to come onto the field, so we'll take our final 2-minute break of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show and then be back for kickoff between your Martinsburg Bulldogs and the Bridgeport Indians. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Brown Funeral Home is proud to be one of the hundreds of veterans and family memorial care providers across America participating in the 13th annual Christmas Stockings for Soldiers and Veterans Initiative. From now through December 1st, please stop into the funeral home and pick up a free Christmas stocking. You may stop by the funeral home Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. to pick up your stocking to take home, decorate, and stuff with Christmas cheer. You will receive a list of recommended items along with the free stocking. Brown Funeral Home will deliver the stocking at their expense to troops abroad and veterans here at home in time for Christmas. Brown Funeral Home is located at 327 West King Street in Martinsburg.
Happiness grows here. Orr's Farm Market.
Visit us at Orr's Farm Market, just 5 miles west of Martinsburg, to pick up all your local fresh fruits and vegetables. With our in-house bakery, fresh fruit slushies, and apple cider donuts, you can't go wrong. Live bluegrass every Saturday from 12 to 5 p.m. And check out all that's local and delicious at Orr's by going to orrsfarmmarket.com or visit our Facebook page.
Happiness grows here. Orr's Farm Market.
And that concludes today's pregame show.
We play every play like it's the most important play of the game. Who let the dogs out?
Coming up next, it's the starting lineups, opening kick, and play-by-play action of West Virginia high school football featuring the AAA Martinsburg Bulldogs. Today's game is being brought to you by
Bechtel Jewelers, the Brown Funeral Homes and Cremations, Chris Ross with Milestone Real Estate Group, the Skinner Law Firm, Hagerstown Ford, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Mirius Group of Financial Advisors, Orsini's Home Store, Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, Sutton and Janelle Attorneys at Law, CMA Honda of Winchester, and WVU Medicine.
And now, let's go back to the field and rejoin our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
Captains from both sides out on the field at the 50-yard line for the coin toss. Your captains for the Bulldogs are Cam Chalice, Zion Grantham, Ezra Bajent. Last but not least, back in the lineup today for the first time since the beginning of the season when he went out with an injury is Kai Fagan, the final team captain. As for those watching on WRNR TV on YouTube, you can see the coin toss going on as Spencer Dupuis out there. He is our sideline camera as well as sideline reporter. Colin McLaughlin alongside me on the call is Dylan Bishop. Our main cameraman up top is Matt Miller, and our producer is Braden Schaffner. Back at the studio is Nick Verzolini. You'll hear from Nick at the half with some other scores around the high school football world in the state of West Virginia, and also college football going on today. So it looks like Martinsburg is trying to decide if they want to pick a side or if they want to kick. So we'll wait to receive word what officially happened for the coin toss. It looks like Bridgeport won the toss and chose to receive, and it will be Martinsburg defending the right end zone, Bridgeport defending the left end zone as we get ready for opening kick. Brought to you by Orrs Farm Market. Family owned, family grown. Happiness grows here at Orrs Farm Market, located at 682 Orr Drive in Martinsburg.
And, normally you'll see a lot of teams nowadays, especially because it's become kind of the trendy thing to do, is defer after they win the coin toss. I think Bridgeport is the type of team that doesn't really go along with that because their whole offense is predicated on ball control. They want the ball on offense at all times to be able to run that clock down, give the Martinsburg offense as few possessions as possible, and make sure that they're out on the field as little time as they can be.
You can see on the near sideline, Ezra Bajent just getting a handshake and a hug from both his father and Travis Bajent, and I believe down in front of us as well as his brother Tyson Bajent, who, if you were tuned in on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube earlier today, you saw alongside the Shepherd Rams get a 16-13 win over the New Haven Chargers to get the win in NCAA Division II football round 1 of the playoffs. So they advance next week to take on Slippery Rock. So a PSAC matchup next week for the Rams.
That'll be a good one.
Martinsburg in the black helmets, orange uniforms on top with the black numerals outlined in gray, and black pants with a orange and gray stripe down the side. Again, Bridgeport in the red helmets with black face masks, white uniform on top with red numerals outlined in red as well with a white in between, and then red pants with a double stripe down the side in white. Martinsburg, the kickoff, it's Brett Terwilliger lining up the kickoff tee, setting it on the near side hash mark, the 40-yard line. Shakes hands with the line judge before getting the ball and putting it on that green kicking tee. It's Terwilliger to kick off. And deep to receive for Bridgeport is Josh Love, number 14, and Zach Rohrig, number 24. It is Love on the near side of the field, Rohrig on the far side of the field. We'll have to see if Terwilliger decides to kick it to him or if he kicks it short, as he is back far enough to kick it deep. And he does. It's a high end-over-end kick that's going to come to the near side, caught by Love at the 8-yard line. He's going to go towards midfield, try to cut to the near side. Will be tackled just shy of the 30-yard line by multiple Bulldogs to make it 1st and 10 Indians at the 29.
All right, this is the matchup that I'm looking forward to the most. It's the biggest strength of Bridgeport versus the biggest strength of the Bulldogs, the rushing offense versus the rushing defense. This is an incredibly stout Bulldogs defensive line. Rashawn Reed has been incredible all season long stopping the run.
Everybody from Martinsburg packed in the box. It is Bridgeport underneath the center is Reed, and they'll only gain about 3 yards up the middle to bring up second down. Is in on the run was Phillip Reed to bring up a 2nd and 7. They spot the ball at the 31-yard line of Bridgeport.
So it's a little different from what Washington runs. Not quite the single wing attack. They're lined up behind the backfield there. Quarterback under center there. So it's a little more of a flex bone type of attack, closer to what you'd see at a Naval Academy right there.
Bridgeport breaks the huddle. This time, Reed is in shotgun formation with Rohrig to his left. Underneath center is Ryan Hall. And he'll go to his right. Snap back, goes to Rohrig, and Rohrig runs up to the near side before being tackled by King and Pearson. He'll be just shy of a first down by 3 yards out across the 35 at the 36.
I see, that's that single wing offense. There's two guys back there. You get the running back as a lead blocker out for the guy who takes the direct snap from behind center.
Yeah, Hall, it looked like was originally behind center, but then he just moved one spot to his right to allow the ball to go back to Rohrig. It's Hall. And that R-back spot in the backfield, Reed as well as Rohrig. They both look to the far side for the play. 7 seconds to go on the play clock. They set. Snap back. It goes to Reed. Reed tries to follow his blockers, and he's stopped after a 1-yard gain, and that'll bring up a 4th and short. That was Rohrig in on the carry.
This is what we saw. Now it becomes a question of, are you a 4-down team today if you're Bridgeport? Are you going to be punting the ball in these short situations? Especially with how tough the Bulldogs' defensive line is. Do you want to risk giving Ezra Bajent, Murphy Clement, and this offense a short field around
4th down and 3. Looks like Bridgeport's going to decide to go for it early. Reed gets the play call, goes into the huddle. The Bulldog faithful on their feet, making noise early. It is Reed and Rohrig in the backfield in shotgun formation, lined behind Amato. Snap back, going up the middle, and stopped short is Reed. Turnover on downs. Martinsburg gets the ball at Bridgeport's 38-yard line. So he was stopped 2 yards short, Dylan.
This is a situation where forward and out goes Bridgeport. Now all of a sudden this high-powered Bulldogs offense has less than 40 yards to go to get to the end zone.
It's Ezra Bajent in at quarterback for the Bulldogs. He has Zion Grantham at running back to his right side. There will be 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field. From near to far it goes Pearson, Clement, and Dover. The only receiver on the near side of the field lined up at the 40 on the numbers is Jameer Hunter. Bajent shotgun formation. Gets the snap from Bass. It's a shovel, halfback pitch. On the right side goes Grantham. Jukes past one tackler, spins through another before being tackled just shy of the 30 out across the 35. They'll say he went down at that 33-yard line to bring up a 2nd down and 5.
I like that, getting Grantham out into space early on in this game, pulling some blockers, bringing those guards out into the space with them, try to get him those yards, letting him use his quickness out in space.
Martinsburg reverses the formation. 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far. Bajent gets the snap, drops back the pass, steps up in the pocket, chucks it deep for Hunter on the far side. Diving for it's Hunter, but he's unable to get there, and it falls incomplete to bring up 3rd down.
Just a little bit of pocket maneuvering there by Ezra Bajent. He needs to reset his feet before he throws that ball. He kind of threw it on the run going forward, and that's part of the reason that those mechanics can get out of whack, and the touch on it's not what you want.
8:52 to go in the first. 3rd down and 4 for Martinsburg on Bridgeport's 32-yard line. All alone in the backfield is Bajent. He drops back the pass, looks to the near side, halfback wide receiver screen caught by Dover, and Dover follows his blockers, gets the first down, and then some out across the 25 at the 24-yard line on the near side. It's where he's finally wrapped up and stopped, but it's a first down Bulldogs.
I like that early in the game. You get Bajent into a little bit of a rhythm, get him some easy pitch and catch out with the receivers, and those guys like Dover can make those plays, turn a 1-yard catch or behind the line of scrimmage into 8 yards.
Hurry up offense from Martinsburg. Grantham to the right of Bajent. Hands it off, and then Grantham hands it off to Clement. Clement from left to right, going down the far sideline. He has nobody near him. Touchdown, Martinsburg, but hold everything as there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage that looks like it's going to negate the touchdown and go against the Bulldogs. 8:20 to go in the first. It's at the line of scrimmage. It looks like it will be a holding penalty against Martinsburg after pretty nice trick play by the Bulldogs there, Dylan.
Yeah, you never really see a lot of trickeration from the Bulldogs offense. They usually just able to keep it simple and move the ball down the field. But they went for that reverse there.
And they'll say that the hold goes against Will Bass, the center for Martinsburg.
Well, it worked to perfection outside of the hold because they did not see that coming at all. Murphy Clement had so much room to run to that end zone.
And Bass, it's the center starting off this week. Usually it's been Peyton Kaufman and Bass alternating, but with E.J. Hendricks out, put Bass all by himself in that center spot.
And Kaufman's moved out to left tackle.
Kaufman has been moved to left tackle, so it is now first down and 17 after the hold. Bajent drops back the pass. Double move by Hunter. He has him wide open, but overthrows him. And a late flag thrown during the route of Jameer Hunter. It looks like it's going to be a pass interference potentially, or maybe a hold against Bridgeport.
I think it's going to be a hold on the Indians here. Hunter ran like he was going to cut inwards and run a post, then he cut back out towards the pylon.
It looks like it was against Colacerto, number 15, and it's a holding penalty against Bridgeport. So with 8:14 to go, Martinsburg will have the ball.
Yeah, I think as he made that double move.
First down, I believe still.
As he made that double move, the corner kind of caught some jersey there, held him up.
First and 10, ball at the 21-yard line. Bajent gets a snap from Bass, hands it off to Grantham. Grantham finds space on the outside, but eventually is wrapped up just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line to bring up second down.
Zion Grantham has been such a delight for this offense, and I noticed the last few weeks they've been passing the ball to him a lot more. He had another opening touchdown through the air.
He had 2 last week in the first half.
Yeah, so that's another element to this offense, being able to throw the ball deep down the field to your running back out of the backfield.
3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side for Bajent. Grantham to his left. Ezra Bajent in shotgun formation gets a snap from Bass, drops back the pass, looking to the near side, steps up, far side, caught in the back of the end zone, touchdown, Martinsburg on the near side. It's Roman Pearson with the catch, 7:34 to go. Martinsburg 6, Bridgeport nothing.
Clever and common concept there that they ran. It's called double China. 3 wide receivers. The 2 outside ones run 5-yard ins, and that inside wide receiver runs a corner route towards the pylon and keeps those where he's got a one-on-one situation, and Roman Pearson just did a great job beating the guy that was one-on-one with him.
Terwilliger's extra point is up through the uprights, and good to make it 7-0. Bulldogs on top of the Bridgeport Indians. We'll take a 60-second break and then be back. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
With your water long enough, it's time for Sunset Water Services, your local water solution since 1989, to fix your water problems. Get better tasting, better smelling, and better looking water today. Say hello to drinking your own delicious water for pennies per gallon. Say yes to healthier skin and hair and to softer and brighter clothes. Sunset Water Services delivers your bags of salt to you, so they'll save your back too. And our products come with a 1-year satisfaction guarantee. Call 304-754-9031 for a free water quality test today. SunsetWater.com.
October is Safe Sleep and SIDS Awareness Month. WVU Medicine, Berkeley Medical Center, and Jefferson Medical Center are joining in the effort to promote healthy sleep habits for newborns and raise awareness about sleep-related risks to infants. The Birthing Center Safe to Sleep team at Berkeley Medical Center and Jefferson Medical Center have both earned distinction as Gold Certified Safe Sleep Champions by the National Safe Sleep Hospital Certification Program. If you are a parent of an infant, the first thing you can do to help create a healthy sleep environment is to clear the crib.
Welcome back to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium. Martinsburg on top of Bridgeport, 7-0 as Brett Terwilliger on to kick off for Martinsburg. As the ball lined up at the 40-yard line near side hash mark. This kick will go high end over end and into the back of the end zone. It bounces for a touchback. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Bridgeport at the 20-yard line to start off the second drive of the evening for the Indians.
Well, for Martinsburg, that first defensive drive went about as well as you could ask for there, as Bridgeport, as expected, ran the ball 4 times going forward on 4th down, and you only let them get 9 yards. Don't even let them get 1 first down. If that's how this continues to get, Bridgeport can't get multiple first downs on drives. It's going to be a long night.
Reed and Rohrig in the backfield for Bridgeport as they all go down simultaneously, and it's set. Snap back to Rohrig. He has space on the far side out across the 35 before going out of bounds just shy of the 40, and a late flag thrown into the applause of Bridgeport as it looks like it might be a late hit out of bounds against Martinsburg on Rohrig. As it wasn't a full hit, it was more of a shove, but it was clearly not needed, Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about when we say play mistake-free football and not trying to making it to where you're not beating yourself. That is a way that Bridgeport can stay in this game.
The personal foul against Martinsburg with 7:27 to go in the first will give Bridgeport the ball in Bulldog territory as they spot it at Martinsburg's 44-yard line. So it's a 1st and 10 for Bridgeport, down 7-0 against Martinsburg.
It was a clever way to change things up on that first play where they went to the weak side run instead of the strong side.
Reed and Rohrig lined up. It's Reed behind the center in shotgun formation. The snap, though, goes to Rohrig, and then he immediately hands it off to Hall. Hall goes up the middle. Excuse me, it wasn't to Hall. That was actually to Brazier. Brazier gained 3 yards to bring up 2nd and 7.
It was an interesting play there. They snapped it back to Rohrig there, but then as he came to the right side, Brazier was cutting into the left, and he handed it back off to him.
My apologies. It's actually pronounced Brazier, not Brazier.
Brazier.
2nd down and 7. Going up the middle, and immediately at the line of scrimmage is stopped by Wes Hancock, as that was Reed on the carry. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 7.
This Indians team's going to have to get creative because the 2 plays that have worked to any success so far have been a little different than just a traditional run up the middle or run to the strong side. That first play, they ran to the weak side, away from the side with more blockers, and that's where they got that 20-yard gain.
Bridgeport breaks the huddle, 3rd down and 7. They have 1 receiver to the near side. Everybody else either on the line of scrimmage, 2 in the backfield. Now, a little bit of trickery, but keeping it is Philip Reed. He goes up the middle, push back, and will be stopped shy by a yard of the 1st down marker. That'll bring up a 4th down, and they'll say about 2 yards. As the forward progress was stopped at the 36-yard line, and the last time Bridgeport had a 4th and 2, they went for it, Dylan. We'll see if they go for it again.
I think this is a team that's going to have to go for it a lot in this game.
Bridgeport breaks the huddle, going for it. It's 4th down and 2. Reed in shotgun formation with Rohrig to his left. The snap goes to Rohrig, and Rohrig hands it off to Brazier, and Brazier goes nowhere. Another 4th down stop by Martinsburg's defense gives the Bulldogs the ball back. 1st and 10 at the 42.
That's that play they ran earlier where they snap it back and then hand it off forward. It got them 3 yards on the first time, but then Martinsburg, I think, kind of figured it out or just got better push on that defensive line this time.
1st and 10, Martinsburg on its 42-yard line with 5:33 to go in the first. Bagent in shotgun formation. He has Zion Grantham at running back to his left. 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Bagent gets the snap, drops back, looking to pass, steps up in the pocket, floats it in and out of the hands of Pearson, the intended receiver, before falling incomplete to bring up 2nd and 10.
It was just a little off there. Not every pass can be perfect. Roman Pearson diving for it. Just couldn't quite lay it out there. But first and 10 pass there tells you have a lot of faith in your offense to be able to get these 10 yards. Usually you run the ball on first down because it's reliable to get you a few yards.
Martinsburg again going empty backfield for Ezra Bajan. He has 4 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Gets the snap. It's a screen pass to the near side, caught by Clements. But flags are thrown as they whistle the play dead. Well, it looks like it might be a false start against Martinsburg. 5:25 to go in the first quarter. It's Martinsburg 7, Bridgeport nothing. So we wait for our head referee to give us the call. And it is a false start according to Robert Bates against Martinsburg to back him up 5 yards. That'll make it a 2nd down and 15 at the 32-yard line.
And this is the way that you let Bridgeport stay in this game, get back in the game, however you want to put it, is put yourself behind the chains with these dead ball, self-inflicted penalties.
4 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Bajan pump fakes, looks deep for Dover, and it's caught in stride. Dover on the near side, tackled at the 20-yard line of Bridgeport by Colcerto. 1st down, Martinsburg.
I mean, that's exactly what sets up there. It's one of those that Martinsburg likes to run this a lot. The fake screen, vertical pass down the field where a couple wide receivers step back as if they're going to receive a screen pass, but the other ones, instead of blocking, go downfield on those deep routes. And it worked great there. Perfect pass by Bajan.
Martinsburg in the red zone, 1st and 10 on Bridgeport's 20. Bajan gets the snap, drops back again to pass. Far side of the end zone for Hunter, and he catches it. Touchdown, Martinsburg. 4:57 to go in the first. It is now Martinsburg 13, Bridgeport nothing. The 2nd touchdown pass of the evening from Ezra Bajan this time goes to Jameer Hunter's favorite target this season.
And it's another one of the tougher throws that a quarterback can make, as he's kind of has a receiver running away from him towards the pylon. This time it's Jameer Hunter, who has a great speed to, even if Bajan doesn't make a perfect throw, he can run that ball down, make the catch, and get into the end zone.
Brett Terwilliger on to attempt the extra point. A hold from Pearson. The kick is up and splits the uprights. Good. So it's now 14-0 with 4:57 to go. And let's keep it here and give you our first quarter sponsors. As we are presented on TV 10 by Sutton and Janelle, attorney at law, a full-service law firm helping individuals, families, and businesses with all of their legal needs. They're at 224 West King Street, Martinsburg. Visit SuttonandJanelle.com, as well as Hagerstown Ford, revolutionizing the car buying experience. Go to HagerstownFord.com for more. As your Martinsburg Bulldogs now lead by 2 scores over Bridgeport, 14-0.
And they're doing it really basically through the air. They've run the ball twice with Zion Grantham for two carries of 10 yards. But other than that, it's been Ezra Bajan so far, as he has been lighting it up so far in this game. You know, already 3 completions of over 15 yards, that 48-yarder on that drive to Buzz Dover, and then follows it up immediately with a 20-yard touchdown pass to Hunter. Just shows you his ability and all the weapons on this team.
Brett Terwilliger to kick off for your Martinsburg Bulldogs. He has the ball at the 40-yard line on the green kicking tee at the near hash mark. Again, he decides to kick it deep. It goes high end over end into the end zone for a touchback, as wanting to return it was Love, but since his feet were in the end zone and the ball went into his hands, in high school you cannot return from the end zone, so it's a touchback for Bridgeport. And they'll have a 1st and 10 at the 20.
Like I said, I think Bridgeport needs to get a little more creative. I think a lot of the things that they run, their staples of their offense, are not going to be able to work against such a stout defensive line. They're going to have to dig deeper into the playbook tonight.
1st and 10 for Bridgeport is Reed and Rohrig in the backfield. The snap goes to Reed, and Rohrig, who goes up the middle on the far side of the line, and they'll gain 2 yards to bring up a second down.
So again, 2 yards at a time that they're really getting there. It's not going to get the job done tonight.
Bridgeport huddles up. It is a 2nd down and 8 for the Indians. With 4.5 to go in the first, ball on Bridgeport's 22-yard line. They finally break the huddle with 15 seconds to go on the play clock. Rohrig and Reed in the backfield. Reed goes in motion, and it's a pass from Rohrig. Wide open receiver in the middle, going downfield. Finally tackled by Pearson at the 35-yard line. And that pass is completed to Camden Hess. The first pass this evening for Bridgeport catches Martinsburg off guard. And they'll say he was down at the 36 to bring up a 1st and 10 for the Indians.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Bridgeport has to dig deeper into that playbook, and that's the kind of thing. A little pop pass there when they were expecting the run.
Rohrig all alone in the backfield now. Bridgeport sends a man in motion, but Rohrig will keep it himself, lowers his shoulder, and will be tackled at the 30-yard line, so 6-yard gain will bring up 2nd down and 4.
So see if this is a little bit of a turning point here for Bridgeport. You've got yourself down to the 30-yard line after that big play. What can you do with it now that you're starting to get towards the red zone, where things are going to pack in a lot tighter, making things easier for that Bulldogs defense?
And Reed, after taking a play off, will come back in. It is Reed with Rohrig to his left. In shotgun formation, ball at the 30. They're lined up at the 35. Bridgeport sets. The snap goes to Rohrig, and Rohrig bounces off one tackler. Kidrick will wrap him up at the 25-yard line, and that 5-yard gain is a yard enough for a Bridgeport 1st down as they move the change. It's a 1st and 10 at Martinsburg's 25-yard line. 14-0 Martinsburg on top with 3 minutes to go in the first over Bridgeport.
And see, this is how a team averages 388 yards of rushing per game in a season when they start moving the ball like this, 6 and 5 yards at a time.
Reed with Rohrig to his left, sets. Now they all stand up and look to the far side for the play call from Coach Fairs before setting back down in the crouch formation. Reed takes it up the middle, and into a swarm of orange goes Reed. Reed tackled after a 2.5-yard gain. At the 23-yard line, they'll roll it to bring up a 2nd down and 6.
The difference you're seeing tonight from the Bulldogs defense, they run a 3-4, 3 down defensive linemen, 2 outside linebackers, 2 inside linebackers off the ball. Tonight they're running a 44 defense. They're bringing in an extra defensive lineman. Right now it's Eric King, along with the usual starters on the defensive line. And they're going with only 3 defensive backs on the field: Murphy Clement, Roman Pearson, and Jameer Hunter.
Bridgeport breaks the huddle under 10 seconds to go on the play clock as it's Reed. Shotgun formation with Rohrig to his left. The snap goes to Rohrig, and Rohrig follows Reed before being stopped a yard short of the 1st down marker. That'll bring up a 3rd and short. Make it a 3rd and 2. The ball at the 17-yard line of Martinsburg for Bridgeport. Philip Reed step out of Bridgeport's huddle, looks to the far side at his head coach Tyler Ferris for the play call. 20 seconds to go on the play clock. He gets the play call, looks at his wristband, and then goes into the huddle. Gives the play call. Bridgeport breaks the huddle with 15 seconds to go on the play clock, winding down. Minute to go in the first quarter. Snap goes to Reed. And Reed bounces off one tackler before bouncing off Hunter as well. Will have the 1st down by a yard out across the 15 at the 14. Reed, it's another 1st down for Bridgeport, who's inside the red zone for the first time this evening.
It's a good block there by the tight end Aiden Sparks for Bridgeport. Be able to make sure that Aiden Fleming couldn't get that inside momentum and stopped there. He was able to seal him out, and then he used that lane on the outside of Fleming to be able to get those yards for the first down.
30 seconds to go in the first. Clock winding down. Bridgeport will break the huddle. It's Reed in shotgun formation with Rohrig to his left. Snap to Reed. Reed finds a hole up the middle into the secondary. 6-yard gain out across the 10 at the 8-yard line is where they'll say Reed was stopped by Jimmy Harden and a few other Bulldogs. That looks like that'll be the final play of the first quarter. Martinsburg 14, Bridgeport nothing as the clock hits zeros, and we will take a 1-minute break and then be back for more. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Brown Funeral Home is proud to be one of the hundreds of veterans and family memorial care providers across America participating in the 13th annual Christmas Stockings for Soldiers and Veterans Initiative. From now through December 1st, please stop into the funeral home and pick up a free Christmas stocking. You may stop by the funeral home Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. to pick up your stocking to take home, decorate, and stuff with Christmas cheer. You will receive a list of recommended items along with the free stocking. Brown Funeral Home will deliver the stocking at their expense to troops abroad and veterans here at home in time for Christmas. Brown Funeral Home is located at 327 West King Street in Martinsburg.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Conveniently located right off 81 at 214 Mid-Atlantic Parkway, Mountaineer Grill and Pub offers many daily specials, including happy hour 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. with $2 domestic bottles and $2.50 domestic drafts. Monday night is trivia night, Thursday night is wing night, and Wednesday and Sunday night is steak night.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Welcome back as it's quarterfinals action in the West Virginia High School Football Class AAA playoffs. At the end of the first quarter, it's Martinsburg up 14-0 over the Bridgeport Indians at Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium in Martinsburg, West Virginia. But Bridgeport knocking on the door has a 2nd down and 5 at the 9-yard line of Martinsburg. Reed and Rohrig alone in the backfield. The snap goes to Rohrig, and Rohrig charges forward out across the 5 at the 4-yard line, and we'll have to see if that was enough for the first down or not. It looks like,
just a little,
looking at that chains on the far side, about half a yard short, Dylan.
Yeah, just barely. The offensive line for Bridgeport's playing a lot better than they were on the first 2 drives. They're getting some more push as Bulldogs gotten a little more tired as they've gotten through 1 quarter play.
3rd down and inches. Bridgeport sets. Snap goes to Reed, and Reed runs forward, wrapped up at the legs, but his forward progress gave him a first down as now we'll have a substitution for one of the linemen who it looks like either lost a shoe, I believe, during that play, but it's 1st and goal for Bridgeport, who has the ball at the 4-yard line of Martinsburg.
Seeing Jaden Kidrick run onto the field there for the Bulldogs. Cam Chalice taking the play off.
Is Philip Reed as well as Zach Rohrig in the backfield. The snap goes to Rohrig, and Rohrig tackled for a loss. It's coming in on the outside. I believe it was Jimmy Harden getting some help from Xerxes Yancey and Rashad Reed. That'll bring up a 2nd and goal. No gain, ball at the 4-yard line with 10:50 to go in the second.
Double checking the sideline, make sure we give correct credit. It was Chalice that stayed on the field and Jimmy Harden that came off, so that's Chalice on the tackle there.
Reed with Rohrig to his left. Snap goes to Reed. Reed runs to the near side trying to follow his block from Rohrig and will be pushed out of bounds by Kai Fagan and Eric King. Again, no yards gained. That'll bring up a 3rd and goal at the 4-yard line. This Bulldog defense bend but don't break this drive so far.
That was a great play by Kai Fagan there. Great pursuit. Get the right angle to the ball carrier there. Used his speed to be able to make sure that he couldn't break around that edge and get those yards to get around to the pylon.
3rd and goal. And they say he lost the yard, so the ball now at the 5-yard line. It's Reed and Rohrig in the backfield. They send a man in motion from left to right. The snap goes to Rohrig. Rohrig, the whistles from the officials will blow the play dead. Rohrig, it almost looked like would have easily had a touchdown on that far side as 3 blockers were in front of him, but the penalty is a false start against Bridgeport, and now it's a 3rd down and goal from the 10 instead of the 5 with that 5-yard penalty.
On a team like Bridgeport, that makes an entirely big difference there. I think they try to use some motion with the wing backs there.
Yeah, it was Cam Hess from left to right. And I don't think he got set in time.
I think it threw it off there.
Again, Reed with Rohrig to his left in shotgun formation. 3rd down. Snap goes to Reed, and Reed will be stopped as he goes out across the 5 at the 4. That'll bring up a 4th and goal at that 4-yard line, which is where the first down originally was 3 plays ago. The field goal unit will come out.
I don't like this decision from Bridgeport
10 minutes to go in the second. It's Martinsburg 14, Bridgeport nothing. They elect to go for a field goal. It's Taylor Thomas on to attempt a 21-yarder right at the middle of the field. He's lined up at the 11. The kick is up and good. That makes it a 14-3 lead now for Martinsburg over Bridgeport with 9:39 to go in the second. We'll take a 60-second break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
This is Eric at Hagerstown Ford. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hagerstown Ford, it is that convenient. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hagerstown Ford will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time at a car dealership playing the dumb back-and-forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want and get your new ride delivered to you at no risk. See dealer for details.
Welcome back to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium. In the second quarter, this quarterfinal game between Bridgeport and Martinsburg. Martinsburg's on top 14-3 after a 21-yard field goal was up and good by Taylor Thomas for Bridgeport. He now will kick off for the Indians. Thomas, short end over end kick caught by Coy Fagan, and he'll fair catch it at Martinsburg's 34-yard line, so it's a 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
I just got to go back to that, but Bridgeport deciding to kick a field goal there. You're not beating this Bulldogs team with field goals. You've got to be able to get into the end zone after that big, long drive when you were running the ball a lot better than you did on those first 2 drives. I know you can say you have points on the board now, but that's not how you win this game.
I'll say it was fair caught at the 35, so it's 1st and 10 Martinsburg. Bagent, shotgun formation with Grantham to his left. It's 2 receivers to each side. He sends Pearson in motion from right to left. Passes it to Pearson in stride. Pearson jukes past 1 tackler, tries to find space, and decides to just stay on that far sideline. A flag thrown as Pearson tackled just shy of the 45-yard line at the 44-yard line. But with the laundry on the field, it looks like it's a penalty against Martinsburg.
I have a feeling this is going to be a hold against Jameer Hunter on the bubble screen.
And I don't think we've seen, other than the false start, is that the only penalty for Bridgeport today, Dylan?
Yeah, not many penalties for Bridgeport so far.
They didn't have any last week in the win against Cabell Midland, I was informed, from their radio crew, Travis Jones and Chris George and the rest of their crew. Doing a great job with their notes and information.
Running the ball that much with no holding, really impressive.
1st down and 25 for Martinsburg. Or excuse me, 1st and 20 at the 25. It's a run play, and another flag as Bagent handed the ball off to Zion Grantham, who got back to that 35-yard line. But with another flag thrown, looks like against Martinsburg, that'll back up the Bulldogs even farther.
This is what we're talking about. Mistake-free football is how you get a big win tonight. And it's another holding call, so now you back yourself up to about first
and it was against Will Bass.
First and 30. That's his second holding call at least at this point. Now you've really dug yourself into a hole after you've looked really good moving the ball in this defense for the first two drives.
And it's a first and 32 as the hold was behind the line of scrimmage. So they have the ball at the 18. They got to get to the 45. Bagent, low snap, almost bobbled it. He was able to regain control, passes it to the far side of the field. It's caught at the 22-yard line. Going backwards is the Bulldog receiver, and he'll be tackled to bring up a second down as it's Jameer Hunter with the catch.
Well, if any offense can dig themselves out of a hole like this, it's Martinsburg, because they have so many guys that could get you a 30-yard gain at a moment's notice.
4 receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. Right now, only 3 guys covering those 4 receivers on the near side for Bridgeport, who has a very large cushion against those receivers for Martinsburg, is Bagent all alone in the backfield. Snap back to Bagent, steps up, passes it for Hunter in the middle of the field, in and out of his hands at the 40-yard line, and incomplete. Martinsburg begging for a pass interference call, but it's not there, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 27.
Surprisingly, one of the least upset people in the stadium appears to be Jameer Hunter, the one who looked like he was being held. I'm kind of in agreement with the sentiment of the crowd here. Interesting that we had 4 receivers to the right with only 3 guys covering them, and Bagent threw it to the one-on-one guy on the other side.
2 receivers to each side of Bagent. He has Grantham to his right in the backfield. Bagent gets the snap from Bass, drops back to pass, looking for Buzz Dover, and Dover somehow made the catch out across the 45. It's a first down for Martinsburg at the 43-yard line. And Dover, while it looked like he was losing his balance, was just able to cradle that one into his lap for the catch.
Well, what did we say? Even though they're behind the chains, if anyone can make a big play and get this back to another first down, it's this team. And this is one of those guys that I was talking about that can make a play, a 30-yard gain at any time, Buzz Dover.
Trips to the near side, 1 receiver to the far side for Bagent. He has Grantham to his right. 7:20 to go in the second. It's Martinsburg 14, Bridgeport 3. 1st and 10, ball at the 43-yard line of Bridgeport for Martinsburg. High snap to Bagent. Bagent hands it off to Grantham. Grantham goes up the middle, jukes past 2 tacklers before being wrapped up and stopped just shy of the 30 at the 31, but hold everything because it looks like there's another holding penalty on Martinsburg.
And this just kills you as a coach, because that's one of the things that you can actually control. You can't always control your opponent's response to what you do, whether or not it's successful or not, but you can control whether you make mistakes and commit penalties.
And it was hard to hear because of all the boos from Martinsburg, but I believe it was another hold against the center, Will Bass.
Well, that's the thing. The injury to E.J. Hendricks has moved Peyton Kaufman out to left tackle, and Will Bass not the usual starter. So that's the kind of thing. An injury on the offensive line can be really devastating sometimes.
And now 1st down and 21. And another trick play as Bagent handed it off to Grantham, and Grantham hands it off to Clement. Clement on the near side will be pushed out of bounds by Love at the 37-yard line for Martinsburg, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 4 for the Bulldogs.
Was the first recorded run of the day for Murphy Clement because they ran that exact play earlier and was brought back by a penalty.
Martinsburg going hurry-up offense. Bagent with Grantham in shotgun formation and motion up front, and this time it's finally a flag against Bridgeport, as it was Summer, the nose tackle, jumping offside. And that'll make it a 1st down for Martinsburg.
Almost felt like a somewhat sarcastic cheer from the crowd there as that penalty came in on Bridgeport.
6:28 to go in the second. It is a first down and 10 for Martinsburg. Ball at Bridgeport's 33-yard line. 4 receivers on the far side, 1 to the near side. Bajent alone in the backfield. He gets a snap from Bash, drops back the pass. There's plenty of time in the pocket, chucks to the near side, and it's intercepted by Bridgeport. Underthrown for the intended receiver, Hunter, and it is caught by Ty Martin, and Ty Martin will be tackled just shy of the 30-yard line. At the 28-yard line is where Bridgeport gets the ball back.
I think there was a miscommunication there between Bajent and the wide receiver, Jameer Hunter, because you can see Bajent putting his hands up as he's going back to the huddle. You can see the coach pointing at him as if to tell him, yeah, Hunter was going deep. I don't think that's what Bajent thought the route was going to be there. I think he thought Jameer Hunter was going to run a comeback route.
Ty Martin gets the turnover. It's now 1st and 10 for Bridgeport. The Indians' 28-yard line. Snap back to Rohrig, and Rohrig follows Reed up the middle, out across the 30 at the 32-yard line. It's where he will be stopped for a 4-yard gain to bring up 2nd and 6.
And now I'm gonna harp on it. Going back to Bridgeport's decision to kick a field goal on that last drive, you got down to the 4-yard line. You're 4 yards away from the end zone, and now you get a turnover, and you could have been in a situation here where you had a possibility to tie this game back up, going into potentially the last possession of the half, depending on how long it takes.
5:40 left on the clock in the second quarter.
Ball control offense, it could happen. Yeah.
Bridgeport breaks the huddle. 5 seconds left on the play clock. And it looks like we'll have a timeout called by Bridgeport. It's first of the evening. And let's get you our second quarter sponsors during this timeout and keep it here instead of sending it back to the studio. Your second quarter sponsors for TV10 is Smallwood and Small Insurance in Martinsburg, your total insurance solution at 121 Administrative Drive in Martinsburg. Phone 304-263-3361. We're also brought to you by Parsons Ford at 1400 Shepherdstown Road and online at parsonsford.com. They became number one by making you number one first. Parsons. It is Martinsburg on top of Bridgeport in this second quarter by a score of 14-3. It's the quarterfinals of Class AAA high school football playoffs in the Mountain State. The other 3 games already decided, as 2 games took place yesterday. It was Parkersburg South defeating Musselman by a final score of 58-14, as well as Hurricane getting a 56-28 win over George Washington. So those 2 teams will match up. Huntington got a 51-7 win over Jefferson today to move on to the semifinals. They await the winner of this one. Philip Reed and Zach Rohrig in the backfield for Bridgeport. As a 2nd down and 7 at the 32-yard line. Snap goes to Reed, and Reed will go up the middle, lay on top of a Bulldog before rolling over and being stopped for a 3rd down now for Bridgeport. So they have the ball at its 37-yard line.
This is exactly where you want Bridgeport if you're Martinsburg. 3rd and long.
Excuse me, it's 33-yard line, so a 1-yard gain on the play. Reed and Rohrig in the backfield. Reed drops back the pass. It's a screen pass caught on the far side, and it's a 1st down for Bridgeport. The 2nd pass of the day by Reed, caught by Brazier, brings up a 1st and 10.
There you go. It's another one of those things where you're kind of breaking tendencies.
My apologies, that was Hall with the catch.
Breaking your tendencies, catching the Bulldogs off guard. That's another big play.
That's 1st and 10 at the 43 for Bridgeport. Philip Reed and Rohrig in the backfield. Reed again dropping back the pass and looking deep. Pass overthrown and intercepted by Murphy Clement, and Clement falls at the 16-yard line. They'll say actually the 15-yard line, so Martinsburg gets the ball back. The pass was intended for Cam Hess, but Reed overthrew him.
Well, he was double covered down the field. You had a 2nd receiver who was running a crossing route about 10 yards down the field who looked like he might have been open, kind of had his man beat somewhat, one-on-one coverage. That was not a good decision by Reed to throw that ball to him. He needed to be able to see that he was open and look to his other guy or take off and run.
4:23 to go in the second quarter. It's 1st and 10, Martinsburg on the Bulldogs' 15-yard line. Bajent in at quarterback in shotgun formation. He has Zion Grantham in at running back to his left. 3 receivers to far side, 1 to the near side in the formation. Bajent gets the snap, hands it off to Grantham. Grantham lowers his shoulder and will gain 3 yards, just shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line, they'll say, is where Grantham was stopped. So a 4-yard carry to bring up 2nd and 6.
So now if you're Martinsburg, you have a chance. 4 minutes left on the clock. You can go down the field. You can make this the last possession of the first half and then get the ball to start the second half after Bridgeport received the opening kickoff.
Looks like Martinsburg will go with the same formation as the last play. Again, 3 receivers to the far side of the field, 1 to the near side. Bajent in shotgun formation with Grantham lined up on his right side this time. 1 second to go on the play clock. The snap off in time. And Bajent gets the snap, hands it off to Grantham, and Grantham went up the middle and then had to backpedal, tried to find a hole on the left side, but he's going to be tackled for a loss. And that'll be a loss of 3 to bring up a 3rd down and 9 at the 16-yard line.
That's dangerous territory to get in as a running back, starting to run north and south, start running backwards to try to get yards. Sometimes you just got to take what the defense gives you.
2 receivers to each side of Bajent. In shotgun formation behind Will Bass. He has Grantham to his left. 3rd down and 9 at the 16 of Martinsburg. Bajent motions Grantham to his right side, gets the snap, drops back to pass, fires it across the middle. It's caught by Roman Pearson at the 30, goes to the 31-yard line for a 1st down, Martinsburg. He was tackled by Josh Love. That'll stop the clock as the chain moves. 2:49 to go in the second. It's 14-3 Martinsburg on top of Bridgeport.
Some soft zone coverage there being played by Bridgeport that time, and Pearson was able to just find the hole in the defense, and Bajent threw a strike.
4 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side, and it's Murphy Clements alone in the backfield and quarterback.
I think it's the first time we've seen him under center today.
Clement looks to his left, then to his right. High snap, quarterback keeper for Clements. Tries to find a blocker, spins off 1 tackle, and will have a 1st down out across the 40 at the 42-yard line is where they'll say he is stopped. And that's another Bulldog 1st down with 2:15 to go in the second. The clock stops.
And see now Martinsburg's trying to go a little deeper into their playbook now than they have so far. Giving Clement some run behind center. And letting him run.
They reverse the formation. It's now 4 receivers on the far side of the field, 1 receiver to the near side for Clement. Clock winding down, under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Clement gets the play call, gives it to his receivers. Snap back from Bass. Clement drops back the pass, steps up, fires it deep for Hunter on the near side. Hunter turns around, goes off the hands of the defender Ty Martin, and incomplete. Great coverage by Martin against Hunter to bring up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it was just really good defense. That was a great coverage by the corner. Seeing a lot more of Martinsburg running this 5 wide receiver set with the 4 to the one side. They call that quads when you have those 4 wide receivers to the set, as opposed to trips if you were to have 3 on the same side.
Martinsburg now has made a substitution. In that H-back is Cam Shallis in the backfield alongside Clements Grantham. They have 1 receiver to the near side, 2 to the far side. Clement gets the snap, and it's a immediate pass to Grantham in the flat, but the pass too far ahead of Grantham and falls incomplete off his right hand. That'll bring up a 3rd and 10, and now Bajent will go back out at quarterback with this 3rd down and 10 on Martinsburg's 42.
Yeah, I think if you're going to pass the ball, it needs to be with Bajent. Clement's an athlete for sure that can throw the ball a little bit, but if you want this to be a big
Clement stays out on the field. He's going to be one of the 3 receivers to the near side. There's 1 to the far side. Bajent in shotgun formation with Grantham lined up to his left. 3rd down and 10 at the 42. Bajent gets the snap, drops back the pass, looks to the left side, steps up, has Hunter wide open in the middle of the field, and it's caught in stride, but he falls down, hangs onto the ball. 1st down, Martinsburg, as they say, He was stopped at the 13-yard line because of his momentum. If he was able to keep running, he would have easily had a touchdown, but it's 1st and 10 with 1:36 to go. And Martinsburg wanting to strike one more time before halftime.
It's just the speed of Jameer Hunter. He can run those post routes and outrun just about anyone in the state of West Virginia.
Ball on the 14-yard line of Bridgeport for Martinsburg. 1:30 to go in the second. It's 14-3 Bulldogs on top of the Indians. Bajent in shotgun formation. He has 2 receivers to each side of him. He sends Clement in motion from right to left. Hands it off to Clement, and Bridgeport was ready for it as Clement tackled for a loss of 1. Put the ball at the 15-yard line now with 1:10 to go in the second to bring up second down.
And Bridgeport did a really good job of holding the edge there, making it to where Clement had to break that play back inside. I think it was Brazier there that had that outside contain. He pushed it back in and got no gain.
Under a minute to go, the clock down to 50 seconds. Trips to the far side, one receiver to the near side for Bajent. Second down and 11. Bajent loses the ball with the exchange of Grantham, and Grantham's going to be tackled for a loss as Grantham had to pick up the ball. Sparks was there to meet him, and Martinsburg will call a timeout. Or was it Bridgeport? 41 seconds to go. Brings up a third down. It's 14-3. And the timeout goes against Martinsburg, so now both teams have 2 remaining. Let's keep it here. It is 14-3, Martinsburg on top of Bridgeport. Martinsburg gets the ball to start the second half. So this touchdown could really help.
Again, we talk about it all the time where a swing can happen like that. If the team holds the ball, scores right before the half, and gets to start the second half, and they can score there, it can make it's like you get 2 possessions in a row. But this possession so far for the Bulldogs, it's been really sloppy. You saw the messed up exchange right there. You saw an interception on the last possession as well on a miscommunication. So it's been a little off on this drive.
You're already in field goal range for Terwilliger, but it is a third down and long. A 3rd and 20, they'll rule it at the 23-yard line. So if you don't get any more yards, it would be a 40-yard attempt for Terwilliger.
That'd be a tough one.
It would be. He has the foot for it, though. But it's a third down. Bajent gets a snap, drops back to pass. Has time in the pocket, has to step up, avoid a sack, stays on his feet, and will be wrapped up. Did the ball come out? Fighting for it is Bridgeport, and they'll say that the ball did come out. Wes Brown in with the recovery and the sack, and Brown gives the ball to Bridgeport, and it will remain 14-3. A momentum-shifting play there. 29 seconds to go in the second.
It was just a coverage sack there, really. I mean, Bajent had a lot of time to throw, but no one came open, so it gave them enough time for Bridgeport to get some guys to shed those blocks and get back to Bajent. But the problem for Bridgeport here now is that you have 29 seconds to get points on the board, and you're 77 yards away from the end zone as a rushing team that has really been chunking off at 5 yards at most.
Reed and Rohrig in the backfield. First down. Snap. Goes to Rohrig, and Rohrig finds space on the right side. Will pick up 4 yards to bring up a 2nd and 6. Clock rolling. Now it looks like Bridgeport's just going to allow that to be the final play of the first half as the clock at 10 will wind down to 0. It is Martinsburg 14, Bridgeport 3 at the end of the first half. And let's get ready for Spencer Dupuis as he has to wait for Coach Britt Sherman, who right now is talking with the officials. And once we have Coach Sherman over to Spencer, we will send it down to them as both teams will now head to the locker room. But Coach Sherman taking his time with the officials, trying to get an explanation on something. We'll see if maybe Spencer can get the explanation as to what that might have been. But Coach Sherman will now go alongside Spencer, and let's send it down to Spencer. Take it away.
Thanks, Colin. Down here with Coach Sherman. At the beginning of the ball game, you guys were able to force them to get a turnover early, fourth down. And how did that kind of turn the momentum of the game early?
Well, defensively, we're playing pretty well. We were doing some good things offensively as well. But, yeah, it's all about stopping them. I mean, they're a different beast. it's a whole different game when you play them every single time, because you don't see that. You never see this offense run the way they run it. So, defensively we did a good job stopping them twice. We capitalized on it, but then here in the second quarter we just didn't do a very good job with that.
What's the mindset you're telling them going into the second half?
Well, we need to correct turnovers and things like that on offense. Got to continue what we're doing on defense, make adjustments offensively. But other than that, we got to get the ball here at the beginning of the second half and go down and score.
All right, Coach, best of luck. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Back up to you, Colin.
Thank you, Spencer, as well as Coach Sherman. Again, a halftime score, Martinsburg 14, Bridgeport 3. Let's take a 2-minute break and then be back for the Mansion Freddie Law Firm halftime show. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
If you're in an accident, the first thing that you have to do is call 911. You have to get medical care immediately.
The next thing you need to do is call us. When you hire us at the Skinner Law Firm, what we do is we are going to investigate your case and we're going to lay out the options that you have, all at no cost to you.
We will use all of our resources and all of our experience to get you what you deserve.
The Skinner Law Firm, SkinnerFirm.com.
Are you considering selling your home and don't know where to start? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market and he's proven it as #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Phone Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams at 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
With Honda, every summer adventure is the destination. Take your adventures even farther with Honda, America's most fuel-efficient full-line automaker. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2022 Honda Civic and a 3.9% APR on a 2022 Accord or 2023 HRV.
CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA, moving lives forward.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si based on EPA estimate of MY20 full-line automaker fleet-wide fuel economy 2021 EPA Automotive Trends Report.
Hi, I'm Annette McDonald, and I am the designer at Orsini's in Martinsburg, West Virginia. We welcome you into our store to show you a complete line of what we do here. We design your cabinetry, quartz countertops, granite countertops, hardware, anything for the full remodel of your kitchen and your home needs. We also do bathrooms, and we have flooring available too. We make sure that your project with Orsini's is the best in the market. Welcome to Orsini's.
Orsini's.com. Welcome back to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium as we're at the half between Martinsburg and Bridgeport. Let's welcome you into the halftime show brought to you by the Mansion Freddie Law Firm in Martinsburg, where it's about seeking justice for you. Go to WVJusticeLawyers.com as we're in the Matt Miller broadcast booth. Colin McLaughlin for Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our crew tonight is Spencer Dupuis and Matt Miller, who are not really playing handsy. They're playing glovesy over there, trying to keep warm as they come down here into the broadcast booth alongside with us. On the other side of the wall, our executive producers, Braden Schaffner, back at the studio. It's Nick Verzolini, who you'll hear from shortly, as I'm mostly just trying to give Dylan a little bit more time to calculate our first half stats, brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security, reminding you don't be a statistic. Protect your family, home, and business with the local alarm professionals at Dynamark Atlantic Security. Call Ben Copenhaver at 304-671-2158. And Dylan, are you ready to go for these first half stats, sir?
Yeah, I'll get some for you. Here on the Bridgeport side of things, it's been Rohrig who has really led the way, rushing the ball with 12 carries for 57 yards. And then Philip Reed has gone 2 for 3 with 53 yards passing and an interception. And on the Martinsburg side of things, Ezra Bajan passing the ball himself is 8 for 13 with 174 passing yards, 2 touchdown passes, and an interception, and that fumble that he had right before the end of the half. And then rushing the ball, it's really just been Murphy Clement, 3 carries for 24 yards. Zion Grantham had a few negative rushing yards there at the end of the half. He's got 5 carries, but they've only been able to manage himself 2 yards out of it when it comes to net gain. And then buzzed over, 2 catches, 83 yards. Roman Pearson, 2 catches, 32 yards and a touchdown. Jameer Hunter, 2 catches, 46 yards and a touchdown. So it's been a pretty good first half for the Bulldogs, but it could have been a lot better.
There you go. These are your first half stats, again brought to you by Atlantic Security, as Martinsburg searching for its 23rd win in a row in the postseason, the 42nd out of 44 games, and trying to make it a 3-1 series lead over Bridgeport. It advanced to the semifinals, as Martinsburg has made it to the postseason the past 25 years, 33 times in the last 50 years, and they're up 14-3 right now over the Bridgeport Indians. So we'll again take a 2-minute break, and on the other side of that break, you will hear from Nick Verzolini back in the studio with our halftime scoreboard show. You are tuned in to West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Hello, this is Mark Sutton of the Sutton & Janelle Law Firm. The right attorney can make all the difference in your case. That's why you should call Sutton & Janelle. We have been serving clients in West Virginia and Maryland since 1999 in the areas of family law, DUI, criminal defense, and personal injury. Sutton & Janelle works hard to obtain a favorable outcome for you at a reasonable rate with affordable payment options. Sutton & Janelle values your rights and is passionate about your success. Contact us today at suttonandjanelle.com.
At the Berkeley County Health Department, our motto is Prevent, Promote, Protect. Since 1935, our mission has been to provide clinical and environmental services to protect the health of the general public. We're committed to building public health in our community by offering a wide range of services, including blood pressure screening, breast and cervical screening, family planning, counseling, lab testing, and more. We perform health inspections to make sure the restaurants you visit are clean, and we prepare and coordinate plans to respond to all hazards. The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court, Martinsburg.
Jonathan Bodwell, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare and life insurance agency. We are here to help you navigate the Medicare maze. We represent all of the major carriers, and you do not pay any more to go through us than if you go directly through a carrier. But if you go through us, you have a local professional to help you with all your Medicare needs, not a voice that could be in some other part of the world. Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare agency. BodwellInsuranceSolutions.com or 304-283-0864.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? No matter what you think, you can have it either way. Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
Rise and shine. You're gonna be late for work. Good morning, sleepyhead. Have a good one.
Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
We welcome you into the Extra Point Scoreboard Show. I'm Nick Verzolini here at the half. Martinsburg Bulldogs on top of the Bridgeport Indians by a score of 14-3. Look at some other scores in the AAA playoffs. All these games have gone final. This is the last game going on in the state tonight. And Parkersburg South defeated Musselman last night 58-14. Earlier today, Huntington smacked Jefferson 51-7. Hurricane defeats George Washington 56-28. And then, as we just mentioned, the score here at the half, Martinsburg 14, Bridgeport 3. Earlier today on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube, you were able to tune into Shepherd Rams football, and the Rams got a win in the first round of the playoffs, 16-13, in a weird ball game if you follow Shepherd football, or even if you some reason follow New Haven football and are tuned into this game, because New Haven averages 36 points coming in, Shepherd averaging over 40 points coming in to the matchup, and it was a defensive struggle between the two teams. Tyson Bagent, for just the second time in his career, does not throw a touchdown pass, but did break the NCAA Division II passing yards record for a career with his 235 yards in the victory. Ronnie Brown had a huge day on the ground, 20 carries, 223 yards, and 2 scores for him as Shepherd gets the win, advances to the next round where they will take on Slippery Rock. In other high school football scores in AA, good one between Herbert Hoover and number 1 Winfield, and Herbert Hoover pulls off the upset 27-26. Independence destroying Fairmont Senior 42-7. North Marion slips by Roane County 13-12. That's a 6-over-3 upset. Hoover was a 9-over-1 upset. And then Frankfort upsets number 4 Scott in a 5-4 matchup, 41-6. In single A, James Monroe beats Greenbrier West 48-13. Williamstown beats East Hardy 49-6. Doddridge County over Cameron 21-6. And Wheeling Central and Wamaha, their first loss to Wheeling Central here, 48-14. Wheeling Central getting the win. So AA semifinals should be fun based on these scores here in the quarterfinals. Should be a lot of good games there in the semis. In terms of other things going on that may interest the local audience here in the Eastern Panhandle, the Maryland Terrapins nearly pulled off a huge upset today over number 2 Ohio State, but fell by a final 43-30. But if you watch the game, it was really a 36-30 loss there. Last touchdown there on the final play of the game extends the lead to 43-30. Also, the West Virginia Mountaineers were in action. They also come up short of any upset, falling to number 15 Kansas State 48-31. Good offensive effort, but the Mountaineers are going to have another losing season under head coach Neil Brown, so disappointment there. Marshall is currently in action, and the Thundering Herd, I believe, are winning. Let's see here, 23-10 in the third quarter. Cam Fancher continues to perform well for Marshall at quarterback in back-to-back weeks. 237 yards, 2 touchdown passes for Fancher, and a rushing touchdown as well in the game that sees Rasheen Ali return in the backfield, and Marshall leading Georgia Southern 23-10 at the half. See if anything else interesting is going on. Wizards are off tonight, and I believe, let's see, are the Capitals off as well? I believe they are, but we'll double check. The Caps are not off. They're in action. They're in the second period, losing to the Colorado Avalanche right now 2-0. And then tomorrow on Talk Radio WRNR, you can tune in to Washington Commanders football as the Commanders travel to Houston to take on the Texans for a 1 p.m. kickoff. That one you can listen to right here on Talk Radio WRNR. So once again, your score here at the half and the other scores from the AAA quarterfinals. Park South beats Musselman 58-14. Huntington beats Jefferson 51-7. Hurricane advances with a win over GW, 56-28, and Martinsburg leading Bridgeport currently at the half, 14-3. So we'll take a 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, we'll send it back to Colin and Dylan for the rest of the halftime show. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube. We're back in 2 minutes.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs. Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you can be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
You've been in an accident. The choice of a lawyer may be the biggest decision you make for you and your family's future. At Mansion Ferretti, we offer a free consultation and no fees until we win your case. Call us today and protect your future. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
If you're in an accident, the first thing that you have to do is call 911. You have to get medical care immediately.
The next thing you need to do is call us. When you hire us at the Skinner Law Firm, what we do is we are going to investigate your case and we're going to lay out the options that you have, all at no cost to you.
We will use all of our resources and all of our experience to get you what you deserve.
The Skinner Law Firm, SkinnerFirm.com.
We welcome you back to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium as we are at the halftime break. It is Martinsburg on top, 14-3 over the Bridgeport Indians as the Martinsburg Bulldog Marching Band on the field performing its halftime show as the Bridgeport Band performed before Martinsburg did. So we are 3:30 away from the second half kickoff as Bridgeport's kickers are already on the field on the far side as Martinsburg's band will now play the fight song and then march off to the near side of the field on the sideline. Colin McLaughlin alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our crew tonight is Braden Schaffner, Matt Miller, and Spencer Dupuy back at the studio, who you just heard from, with some high school scores, some college scores as well, and some interesting ones was Nick Verzolini as all the top teams, it seems like, were pretty close to being upset. Number 2, Ohio State, just barely squeaked it out against Maryland. Number 3, Michigan, just barely knocked it out against Indiana. Illinois, you were correct, my fault. TCU had to kick a last-second field goal against Baylor, and now number 5, Tennessee.
Yeah,
currently losing to South Carolina.
Yeah, it doesn't. Tennessee's going to really have to come back to be able to sneak that one out. So that could be the one that finally comes down this week.
As the Bulldog Band march off the field to the far side. Some other games going on tonight in college football as well. Number 10, Utah. Number 12, Oregon, a good one to keep an eye on. Georgia got the win, but it was only 16-6 over Kentucky, so the top teams in the state, really, this week being under the challenge.
Yeah, all the top 5 teams in the country this week have
but still, we're able to win. Right now, the only one that you're looking at is Tennessee that might lose.
Well,
but
at least
there's still a lot of game left.
It's a good omen for Tennessee, at least. All those other teams are able to sneak one out. But I guess we'll find out as that game rolls on and as we get closer to the start of the second half of our game here. The scoreboard's just at a minute 40 now, but
and you got to remember when both teams come out, 3 minutes will be added back onto that clock to allow them to restretch and warm up as Martinsburg. The hunt continues for that 10th state championship as they are 9-4 when it comes to state championships. Dylan winning last year for the 9th time, and all 9 coming from 2010 on. The 4 losses were in 2001, 2003, 2004, and 2006. But right now up 14-3 over Bridgeport, getting hopefully one step closer as Huntington awaits the winner of this one next week. And we've been told that if Martinsburg gets the win, that it will be a Saturday afternoon game next week in Huntington with kickoff at 1:30. So that's what we were informed. If things change, we'll make sure people know on social media as well in the Sports Mix on Monday. But right now, that's what the Bulldogs will go with to take on Huntington next week if they're able to hold on and get this win over Bridgeport.
Yeah, and of course Shepherd having the win today, they'll end up playing Slippery Rock at noon next Saturday, and well, we can only be in one place at one time, so that'll be we can only cover one game, and it'll end up being the Bulldogs if that's the case.
As Bridgeport will take the field first on the far side as they jog their way into the end zone on the right side of the field to line up and stretch. Still waiting for Martinsburg to come out of the locker room on the left side, up the steps and onto the track, then onto the turf field at Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium, as the 3 minutes have been put back onto the clock for stretching. So even though Martinsburg's not out here yet, 3 minutes has already started. So by the time they do come out, it could be at 0 and we're ready to go.
It could be, and I think Martinsburg here in the second half, it's really...
As they do take the field now.
Right, it's what we talked about pregame, and it was the same problem in the Morgantown game, where it's really just self-inflicted errors and just kind of sloppy play. A lot of penalties, holding penalties, bringing back plays, putting them behind the sticks, negating big gains that they could have had, and then a couple miscommunications and turnovers.
Yeah, the one turnover late, the interception, really hurt Martinsburg. Even though they get the ball back to start the second half, it would have been nice to extend the 14-3 lead. Yeah, but I'll let you continue your point, Dylan.
Right, but the silver lining of it all is that even with having played a bit of a sloppy half, Bridgeport only has 3 points up on the board, and I think if you're looking at your offensive play so far, when you haven't been putting yourself behind the ball with those penalties, and when you haven't been turning the ball over, you've been able to move the ball on this Bridgeport defense really well. So if you clean up those penalties, don't turn the ball over, I think you're going to see a similar situation to last week, where Martinsburg was only up 14-7 at the half, and they ended up pulling away 42-14. I think we see a similar situation tonight, but it's going to hinge on the Bulldogs cleaning up those self-inflicted errors.
We already know that Martinsburg's the best of the best in the state, it seems like year in, year out, but when it comes to postseason time, it seems like a whole new beast comes out of the Bulldogs. You look dating back to 2016, in total offensive scoring for Martinsburg for the past 7 seasons, because it's 2016, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, and now 22. They've scored a combined 1,160 points, so an average per game of 52.7. Defensively, they've held opponents to a total of 194 points. That's an average of 8.8. So when it comes postseason time, Martinsburg is just a whole different level, and they already are in the state of West Virginia. But it's even more so, it seems like, in the playoffs. And
that's why when we see that they had 2 losses this year, and they're the number 3 seed. It's the kind of reason where it doesn't really worry you that much.
And that's why they've won 22 straight games in the postseason.
Right, and it's the kind of thing where you can put teams like Highland Springs and Riverside on your schedule, including Salem, who they ended up beating, teams that aren't in the state of West Virginia, that if you lose to them, they're going to cost you seeding in, when it comes to playoff time. But when you're putting up numbers like that in the playoffs, and you've won 9 out of the last 11 state championships, I think you can. It's a situation where you believe you can afford to do it because you think your team is good enough.
Both teams are ready to go for quarter number 3. Your second half kickoff is brought to you by Mountaineer Grill and Pub, located at 214 Mid-Atlantic Parkway in Martinsburg. Martinsburg will get the ball to start the second half, as Bridgeport won the opening coin toss and elected to receive. And to start the second half, it will be Martinsburg defending the left end zone, Bridgeport defending the right side end zone. As both teams, return and kicking teams, huddle up onto the field. It's Martinsburg on the near sideline. Return team huddled up at the 35-yard line. Getting a pep talk from Coach Lynch as well as Coach Sherman and a few others to get ready to go for the return as Coach Fairs prepares his kicking team for half number 2 on the far side at the 30-yard line. Fans will settle back into their seats. A very chilly Martinsburg, West Virginia. Temperatures below freezing now. So it's almost 9 p.m. As the return team for Martinsburg ready to go. Back to return is Jameer Hunter on the far side and Sarad Musgrove from Martinsburg on the near side. Kicking off for Bridgeport is Taylor Thomas, and he will set his black kicking tee down about a foot or two to the right of the near side hash marks at the 40-yard line. And he'll now back up, get ready to kick off with his left foot. And Thomas's kick, a short squib kick, that bounces over the head of Grantham, who has to backpedal. And Hunter picks it up at the 10, goes backwards, and will be tackled at the 3-yard line. A great kick by Thomas to pin the Bulldogs back to start half number 2. And it'll be a 1st and 10 Martinsburg at the 3-yard line.
Well, aside from recovering the kick, that couldn't have gone much better for Bridgeport. That squib kick, it kind of rolled, skipped along the ground, and then right before it got over to Zion Grantham, bounced up in the air over his head, about 10 feet in the air. And then I think they wanted to see if it would roll out of bounds, give Martinsburg the ball at the 35, but it never did.
Agent shotgun formation standing in his end zone with Grantham to his right. Play action pass intended for Pearson goes in and out of his hands on the quick slant and incomplete to bring up 2nd and 10.
It just went right through his hands.
Yep, a little bit high, but when it hits you in the hands, coach tells you got to catch it.
Yep, you got to keep those hands together as a wide receiver there. It was a little bit of a clap hand motion there from Pearson, and it's not the best way to close on the ball.
2nd and 10. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side for Bajent. Bajent gets the snap. Play action pass. Caught on the near side by Dover, and Dover will shuffle his way past 2 tacklers. Wrapped up out across the 10 at the 11-yard line, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 3 for Martinsburg.
That's a good recovery there, so now it sets you up in 3rd and short, 3rd and manageable. You can run the ball here if you choose to.
Martinsburg flips the formation. It's now trips to the far side. 1 receiver to the near side for Bajent with Grantham to his right. Snap almost goes to Grantham. Bajent's able to snag it. Fires it to the far side of the field. It's caught by Clements, and he picks up the 1st down at the 15-yard line is where he's tripped up. It's a 1st and 10 Martinsburg.
There we go. Just a little stick route there, stick concept with the trips to the right side there. Left side, excuse me.
11 minutes to go in the 3rd. It is Martinsburg 14, Bridgeport 3. Bajent gets the play call from the near sideline. He has 3 receivers to the near side of the field, 1 to the far. Bajent, shotgun formation, gets the snap. Halfback pitch to Grantham. Grantham finds space on the near side, gets a beautiful block from Dover out across the 30 before being pushed out of bounds at the 31-yard line. It is a pickup of 21 to bring up a 1st down.
How about that? That's a way to get things going for Grantham. He started off pretty well in his first 3 carries of the night, and then had a miscommunication here and there, stopped behind the line where it affected his overall stat line, but there he finally gets things back into the positive column.
Gain of 17 makes it 1st and 10, 32-yard line of Martinsburg for the Bulldogs. Bajent sends Grantham in motion. He passes it to Grantham in stride on the far side. He tries to stiff arm his tackler, but is wrapped up and spun around for a 1-yard gain. Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 33 of Martinsburg.
Now, this is an incredibly important drive for the Bridgeport defense because you've only been able to get 3 points up on the board. If you give up a touchdown here to make this a 3-possession game for the first time in this game, it's going to be hard to fight back with that ball control offense that only kind of chunks out a few yards at a time.
3 receivers bunched on the far, 1 to the near side. Out route caught by Hunter from Bajent, and he extends his arm and will be at the 40-yard line to make it a 3rd down and 2.
Taking a little bit of a different approach to this half so far is Martinsburg. A little more quick hitters. I think you're trying to get Bajent back in a rhythm after he threw an interception and then fumbled 2 drives in a row to end the first half.
3rd down and 2, ball on Martinsburg's 40-yard line for the Bulldogs. Snap to Bajent. He hands it off to Grantham. Grantham finds a hole to the left side of Kaufman, and he picks up the 1st down by a yard out across the 42 at the 43-yard line is where they'll spot the ball. It's a 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Martinsburg going with the hurry-up offense as Bajan gets the play call. They'll now slow it down, trying to set up the formation. It is 2 receivers at least to the far side, 2 to the near side. Clement and Hunter on the far side. Snap, jet sweep from left to right goes Clement. Clement stiff arms and will be pushed out of bounds at the 49-yard line in Bridgeport territory as Love with the tackle brings up a 2nd down and 3. And their say is right foot of Murphy Clement actually went out at the 50. Nope, they do give him the 49. So 2nd and 2 for Martinsburg. That's 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side for Bajent, with Grantham to his right. Bajent gets the play call, gives it to his receivers. It's Pearson, Clement, and Dover on the far side, Hunter the near. Bajent drops back, looking to pass, as Clement wide open in the middle of the field. He makes the catch and has a 1st down at the 26-yard line of Bridgeport. A gain of 23 yards brings up the 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
That's a tough throw there by Bajan. He had some pressure in his face there. And Clement had a guy come at him almost immediately, but he broke that tackle and was able to get about 10 extra yards.
8:45 to go in the 3rd. It's Martinsburg 14, Bridgeport 3. 1st and 10 for Martinsburg on Bridgeport's 26-yard line. Ezra Bajent in at quarterback. He has Grantham to his right side, 2 receivers to each side of the formation. High snap to Bajent, and he hands it off to Grantham, and Grantham going to be tripped up for a loss. In on the tackle is Brazier to bring up a 2nd down, and they'll say Grantham got back. Nope, he did not. I thought originally they gave him the line of scrimmage originally, but he did lose 1 yard to bring up 2nd and 11.
Brazier has been really the one guy on this Indians defense that's been able to make a difference in the backfield so far. He's able to disrupt Murphy Clement earlier, push him inside, and now he makes a play on Grantham.
Bajent again in shotgun formation. Sends Grantham from his right side to his left side. Pump fakes. It's a screen pass caught by Pearson, and Pearson going to be swarmed by 5 Bridgeport Indians, and it's another loss of 3 yards this time to make it a 3rd down and 14 as they put the ball at the 30-yard line for Martinsburg.
I liked the idea there where they had, there was a fake swing pass going on, there was a fake bubble, almost a fake bubble screen, fake vertical, and it ended up being a tunnel screen inside to Pearson.
Trips to the far side, 1 receiver to the near side for Bajent. Bajent tries to get some motion up front, unable to do so, so he resets, gets the snap from Bash, drops back, chucks it deep for Hunter on the near side, and Hunter makes the catch, goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Martinsburg. 7:10 to go in the 3rd. It is now Martinsburg 20, Bridgeport 3. A little bit of hands, maybe a little push off of Jameer Hunter, but no call, as he's able to just walk his way into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
Yeah, I'm just going to flat out say Jameer Hunter got away with a push-off there. I mean, you could see Bajent saw the one-on-one coverage pre-snap and knew that's where he wanted to go. Hunter pushed off.
Terwilliger's extra points up. And good to make it 21-3 Martinsburg with 7:10 to go in the 3rd. We're back in 60 seconds. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
You've been in an accident. Why won't the insurance company pay? Because they're trying to save money at your expense. Call Mansion Ferretti for your free consultation. We have the experience to deal with the insurance company and get you the compensation you deserve. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
With Honda, every summer adventure is the destination. Take your adventures even farther with Honda, America's most fuel-efficient full-line automaker. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2022 Honda Civic and a 3.9% APR on a 2022 Accord or 2023 HRV.
CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA, moving lives forward.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si based on EPA estimate of MY20 full-line automaker fleet-wide fuel economy 2021 EPA Automotive Trends Report.
Welcome back. 21-3, Martinsburg now on top of Bridgeport with 7:10 to go in the third quarter. It's Brett Terwilliger on to kickoff for the Martinsburg Bulldogs. As Brent Terwilliger will line it up on the far side hash mark at the 40-yard line. Terwilliger's kick goes into the night sky. It's a high end-over-end kick, caught at the 5-yard line on the far side by Rohrig, and Rohrig cuts the near side, stiff arms, and it's finally tripped up by Braden Mott, and that was Love in on the return, and he was pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
Bridgeport, I think any amount of drives now without a touchdown starts to get pretty scary for the Indians. So they're going to really need to kick things into gear in the second half.
Reed and Rohrig in the backfield. It is Reed lined up in the quarterback spot in shotgun formation. Behind his center, D'Amato, with Rohrig to his left. The snap low goes to Reed, who fakes a handoff to Hall before going up the middle and then being pushed back by Harden and Clement. It is a gain of 1 to bring up 2nd and 9, putting the ball at the 33-yard line of Bridgeport.
You can see Bridgeport likes to use that concept a lot, where essentially they want you to always think that there's a possibility that that H-back could get a handoff. So they want you to set that up to make you just think a little bit, hesitate a little bit, and then eventually they'll hit you with it after enough times of them not doing it.
Bridgeport breaks the huddle. 10 seconds left on the play clock. 6:24 to go in this third quarter on the game clock. Bridgeport sets, sends a man in motion from right to left. The handoff from Rohrig to Reed, and Reed is stopped by Martinsburg's Reed, getting a few players' help. And it was Fleming and Fagan pushing Reed back, but he got the forward progress to the 35-yard line. So it's a 2-yard gain to bring up a 3rd down and 7.
And again, 3rd and long. What can you do? Just outside of that one drive that led to a field goal, it's been tough for Bridgeport to get more than like 2 or 3 yards on every rush attempt.
It was Reed for Bridgeport, R-E-E-D, stopped by Martinsburg's Reed, R-E-I-D. Reed in shotgun formation with Rohrig to his left. Snap back to Reed, and Reed finds a hole on the right side of the line and is tripped up just shy of the 1st down out across the 40 at the 41-yard line, and that'll bring up another 4th down for Bridgeport. We've seen them go for it twice so far, and it was in a same down and distance. 4th down and 2. It is Martinsburg 21, Bridgeport 3, and as Dylan just said, feels like you have to.
There's only 17 minutes left in this game total.
Bridgeport breaks the huddle. One receiver to the far side with Reed getting the snap, going up the middle. He has the 1st down and more, out across the 50 before being tackled by Clement at the 48-yard line. 1st down, Bridgeport.
That is absolutely huge right there. They needed to continue this drive. Like I said, with how long every possession for Bridgeport takes, them being down by 18 with 4.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter starts to put you almost in, like, not hurry-up mode, but to the point where empty possessions are going to be a killer at this point.
Bridgeport breaks the huddle. It's Philip Reed in shotgun formation with Zach Rohrig to his right. Snap to Rohrig, and Rohrig has a block from Reed on the near side. And will go out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line. I'll say he stepped out at the 43, so that'll make it a 2nd down and 5. As the substitute will check in for Bridgeport on the far side as Ryan Hall goes into the huddle, gets the play call for Bridgeport. Bridgeport breaks the huddle with 20 seconds on the play clock. It is Reed behind his center, D'Amato, about 4 yards back. Snap goes to Rohrig, and Rohrig follows Reed and is tripped up by Wes Hancock. Pick up a 3 to bring up a 3rd down and 3. So only a 2-yard gain. They spot the ball about an inch behind the 40-yard line of Martinsburg.
Underrated part of this kind of ball control offense is that it gives the Bridgeport defense time to rest on the sideline after they're having to deal with the quick strike offense of the Bulldogs.
3:40 to go in the third quarter. 3rd down and 3 at the 40-yard line of Martinsburg for the Bridgeport Indians. Snap to Rohrig. Rohrig hands it off to Hall, and Hall has his jersey grabbed, trying to get brought back. Excuse me, that's Brazier. And Brazier gets the first down for Bridgeport at the 37-yard line. It's a 1st and 10.
They're doing a little bit of that misdirection again where they hand it off and then they do a second handoff while they're still in the backfield. It hasn't always quite worked out in their favor, but it is a little bit of confusion if you're not, it's a way to try to confuse the linebackers, really.
Reed and Rohrig alone again in the backfield. Snap to Rohrig. Rohrig goes up the middle, almost stopped for a loss by King, but he slips through King's arms and then is wrapped up by Fleming and tripped up for a 3-yard gain out across the 35 at the 34. Brings up a 2nd down and 7 for Bridgeport, who's really been able to move the ball this drive, but still trails Martinsburg 21-18 with 2:40 in the third. Bridgeport breaks the huddle. No receivers to each side in the wing formation. Martinsburg's crowd trying to go behind the orange and black. Snap back to Rohrig, and Rohrig is stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Martinsburg, winning the battle this time. Only a yard gained on the play to bring up a 3rd down and medium. Make it a 3rd down and 6 at the 37-yard line for Bridgeport.
And this has been this heavyweight fight this entire game. The Bridgeport offense that rushes for 388 yards per game, and the Martinsburg defense that only gives up 49 rushing yards per game.
Martinsburg trying to get to the semifinal as Huntington awaits the winner of this one. It's 3rd down and 7, 1:40 to go. Snap goes to Reed, and Reed lunges forward but is stopped well short of the 1st down marker at the 30-yard line. That'll bring up a 4th down and 3 for Bridgeport.
And I just don't think you're in a situation where you can afford to punt right now if you're Bridgeport.
Martinsburg out on the field trying to rile up their fans on this big 4th down. 4th and 3 at the 30-yard line for Bridgeport. Reed and Rohrig in the backfield. They stand up looking the far side for the play call from Coach Fairs. They're going to have to call a timeout, the first one of this 3rd quarter. And let's give you our 3rd quarter sponsors and keep it here during this timeout as your 3rd quarter is presented on TV 10 by the Skinner Law Firm, Injury and Consumer Rights Lawyers. Phone 304-245-6613 or go to skinnerfirm.com, as well as Kelly Allstate Insurance. For all of your insurance needs, call Gary Kelly at 304-263-4596 or stop by 724 Lakeview Drive in Martinsburg.
Let's give Bridgeport some credit. As much as they've run the ball, obviously they're running the ball pretty much every play, but we've seen similar styles of offense against Martinsburg this year that haven't been nearly as successful. It's part of the reason that the rushing yard average for the Bulldogs defense is at about 49.7 yards per game. But adding up what Bridgeport's done so far, they have 124 rushing yards. And that's mostly out of Rohrig and Reed, who have 69 and 48 yards apiece for themselves.
So Bridgeport's well over the average that Martinsburg's defense usually allows, which is, I believe, 47.9. But yet they've only scored 3 points. 4th down and 3. Bridgeport breaks the huddle. It's Rohrig with the ball following his blocker, Reed, and he's stopped short by Eric King by a yard, and that's a turnover on downs. Martinsburg gets the ball back. 1st and 10 for Martinsburg at its 29-yard line.
Again, it's hard to run for 4 yards on this Bulldogs defense. It's just really hard. That's all there is to it.
55 seconds to go in the third. It's 1st and 10 Martinsburg, who leads 21-3 over Bridgeport in this quarterfinal game. It's Kendall in the backfield now with Ezra Bajent, who has 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Bajent pitches it to his right side to Kendall, and Kendall will run forward down the near sideline and tackled at the 35-yard line, so a pickup of 6 brings up 2nd and 4.
It's the first time we've seen Xavion Kendall today. It's been mostly Grantham working out of the backfield.
And after one play, Kendall will now go out, and A.J. Harrison, who I believe we have not seen all game long at that running back spot, is in.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to pound the ball now that we're approaching the end of the third quarter. This should be the last play, pending
15 seconds to go on the play clock, 17 on the game clock, so about a 4-second difference between those two. Snap to Bajent. Bajent hands it off to Harrison, and Harrison will get some help from his line and out across the 40, tackled at the 42-yard line. First down, Martinsburg, and that stops the clock at 1.4 seconds to spot the ball. The clock now winds down and hits 0, and that is the end of the third quarter. Your Martinsburg Bulldogs lead 21-3 over the Bridgeport Indians. Let's take a 60-second break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Be able to retire. How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC. You've put up with your water long enough. It's time for Sunset Water Services, your local water solution since 1989, to fix your water problems. Get better tasting, better smelling, and better looking water today. Say hello to drinking your own delicious water for pennies per gallon. Say yes to healthier skin and hair and to softer and brighter clothes. Sunset Water Services delivers your bags of salt to you, so they'll save your back too. And our products come with a 1-year satisfaction guarantee. Call 304-754-9031 for a free water quality test today. SunsetWater.com.
Welcome back after the timeout. It is 1st and 10 for Martinsburg at the 41-yard line. High snap over the head of Bajent. Bajent has to race for it, and he does get to the ball first, diving on top of it, beating the defender for Bridgeport, and that will make it a 2nd and very long at the 21-yard line, as it was Camden Hess trying to chase down and beat Bajent to the fumble.
Yeah, that's a really lucky break there that Bajent was able to fall on that. Another issue at center. Again, Will Bass is not the usual starting center. It's been injuries that have moved things around on the Bulldogs' offensive line.
So it's 2nd down and 31 to go now for Martinsburg. They have 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. It's a bubble screen in and out of the hands of Kendall, and they'll say it was a forward pass, so it's incomplete to bring up a 3rd down and 31.
2 sloppy plays in a row.
And Kendall will now be swapped out with Grantham at the running back spot. 3 receivers to the near side of the formation, 1 to the far side of the field for Ezra Bajent. Gets the play call from Britt Sherman on the near side of the field, and will call it out to his teammates, who all look at the wristbands before getting in formation. Bajent gets the snap, pump fakes, looks deep, has a man in the middle, caught by Pearson, but Pearson stumbles his way out across the 40 and will go down at the 40-yard line, so still shy of a 1st down by 12 yards. But it's a 19-yard completion to bring up 4th down and 12 right at the 40-yard line, and Martinsburg will keep the offense out there, up 21-3 with 10:40 to go in the 4th. Bridgeport still ready for Bajent to potentially punt it, as they have Martin back to return. But the ball again goes by Bajent, and Bajent unable to fall on it. Bridgeport recovers. And again, it is Wes Brown with the recovery for the Indians, who now have a 1st and 10 well within Martinsburg territory at the 16-yard line of the Bulldogs.
I couldn't really tell if that was going to actually end up being a play or a punt there. I have a feeling it was going to be a pooch punt. But, man, does that really help out Bridgeport. The way that this offense runs, only 16 yards, that can make for a rare quick scoring possession for the Indians.
It's Reed and Rohrig in the backfield for Bridgeport. Snap to Rohrig, and Rohrig will hand it off to Brazier. Brazier brought back after a gain of 3 in on the tackle. The big man, Wes Hancock, brings up a 2nd and 7 with the ball at the 14-yard line for Bridgeport.
Yeah, but it's a solid chunk there on first. I think, like I said, it's almost been all game long that Bridgeport has kind of been in 4-down territory, but especially now at this point in the game.
2nd and 6, 9:50 to go in the 4th. It's now Rohrig all alone in the backfield. The snap to Rohrig, fakes a handoff on a jet sweep to Martin, and then runs his way forward, and Rohrig will be tackled by Reed and Hancock at the 10-yard line to bring up a 3rd down. Be a 3rd down and
I think it's about 5 yards.
5 yards.
4.5, somewhere in that range. It's manageable.
Bridgeport breaks the huddle. Reed now joins Rohrig again in the backfield. 3rd and 5 at the 11-yard line of Martinsburg for Bridgeport. Snap. Goes back to Rohrig, and Rohrig breaks through the arms of Rashad Reed. Keeps his feet churning, but is just shy of a 1st down by about a yard, maybe a yard and a half, to bring up a 4th down with 8:45 to go and the clock winding down in this 4th. It's 21-3 Martinsburg. If they're able to get this stop, it seems like the game might be over.
Yeah, I think this is the ball game right here.
4th and 1 at the 6 for Bridgeport. Reed and Rohrig in the backfield. The snap goes to Hall, and Hall says might be a yard short. Martinsburg all pointing that they held him, and by the look of it on the officials on the far side, should be a turnover on downs.
Yeah,
I think they're going to ask for a measurement first because this is a huge call. 8:22 to go in the 4th, and it was a 4th down, and they will ask for a measurement. It's 21-3, so we wait for the chains to be brought out.
Yeah, it's tough to see exactly where the ball is from our angle. It doesn't look like a great spot for Bridgeport.
The chain gain from the far side of the field, going out for the measurement. And it looks like they're short. Turnover on downs. Martinsburg gets the ball with 8:22 to go. It is now 1st and 10 Bulldogs at their 6-yard line, leading 21-3. And now Martinsburg can just grind that clock down.
That's what they'll try to do. I think that's why they had guys like Kendall and Harrison out last drive, try to churn that clock down without using up Grantham too much. But he's back on the field this drive.
Bajent shotgun formation with Grantham to his right. He has trips to the far side, one receiver to the near side of the formation. Snap goes to Bajent. Bajent hands it off to Grantham, who has space on the right side of the line, out across the 15 at the 16-yard line. And a late flag thrown way above the play as the flag at the 28-yard line.
Oh, I think
and it looks like it's 12 men as they are counting all Bridgeport.
On the defense.
And we'll see if it's picked up and waved off.
It is.
It is. So there's 11, not 12.
You can see that the back judge there threw his flag, then counted the players on the Bridgeport defense, and then picked it up basically to say, oh, I thought there was 12. My bad. It's 11.
21-3, Martinsburg on top. 8:10 to go in the 4th. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side of the field for Bajent. Bajent gets the snap, dropping back. 1-step drop, passes it to the near side. It's a screen pass caught by Buzz Dover, and Dover is tackled at the
15-yard line, and there was a late flag thrown on the play as well. Dover unhappy after that one, trying to plead the case for Martinsburg.
And no gain there. I think
7:57 to go.
Seems like a hold on a receiver, if not even pass interference, offensive.
It's the conversation still going on between the officials as to what the penalty is, as the flag is being picked up at the 15 now, put into the pocket of one of the officials.
Yeah, so we'll get some
so we
sort
get
of
the call. And it's a holding against Martinsburg. I believe I heard that it was against Murphy Clement on the screen.
Yep.
He was one of the blockers ahead of Dover.
Yeah, so they'll take him half the distance to the goal, keep backing him up. Again, that's really been the main thing that has kept Martinsburg from opening this up into a really insurmountable lead, has been penalties and turnovers.
It's now 2nd down and 11, ball on Martinsburg's 6-yard line. 7:49 to go. As the snap from Kaufman goes back to Bagent. Bagent hands it off to Grantham, and Grantham goes to the right side. Will be tackled out across the 10 at the 11-yard line, so 5-yard gain will make it 3rd down and 6, as our producer, Braden Schaffner, who is a former Martinsburg Bulldog lineman, graduating last year, letting us know that it is now Kaufman at center instead of Bass after the 2 bad snaps last drive, and it's now Yancey in at left tackle for Kaufman, so appreciate Braden's help picking that out.
I believe that's the first time we've seen Xerxes Yancey in on the offensive line this year.
3rd down and 6, ball at the 12. Bagent sends a man in motion, play action pass, stepping up, has all the time in the pocket, open receiver downfield, off the hands of Ty Martin, almost into the hands of the receiver, Buzz Dover, but it goes in and out and incomplete as he just underthrew Dover by about a yard or 2. He had him in stride easily for 6, but the pass underthrown to bring up 4th down.
I mean, it was a really good play, too, by Bridgeport to be able to knock that one away. And not every defensive back can make that play there.
And with 6:51 to go in the 4th, for the first time this evening, Martinsburg will punt. Deep to receive is number 10, Ty Martin, for Bridgeport. On to punt for Martinsburg is number 13, Ezra Bajan, who is making sure everybody is lined up and ready to go for this punt, as he has 5 seconds to go on the play clock, and winding down, he sends Harrison in motion from left to right. The snap not off in time as the whistle blows right as the ball was snapped, and it should be a delay of game penalty against Martinsburg. And that makes this punt even more dangerous, who, for Ezra Bagent, was already standing on the goal line, will now have to stand in his own end zone for the punt.
Yeah, it makes it risky here. If we saw a bad snap like we did last time we had a 4th down, this would just straight up go out the back of the end zone for a safety. But hopefully the change has fixed that issue.
So Bagent standing in his end zone gets a snap, and it's a low line drive punt bouncing at the 35-yard line. Martin picks it up, goes to the far side, slips through one tackle, and is pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line, and a late flag thrown on the far side as well. And we'll see who it's against. And while we wait for that, let's quickly give you your 4th quarter sponsors, as we're presented on TV 10 by the Ollie's VIP Northside, the best local spot to catch sports or hang out with friends. Stop by 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. Ollie's VIP will see you for the game, as well as Chris Ross Real Estate Group, buying or selling a home. Call 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. And it is a personal foul penalty going against Martinsburg, so Bridgeport now again with great field position. The last drive they started with great field position after the fumble recovered by Wes Brown, and this time a personal foul penalty gives Bridgeport the ball with a 1st and 10 at Martinsburg's 12-yard line, trailing Martinsburg 21-3 with 6:41 to go in the fourth.
And it's one thing for a team to make mistakes, but the other team has to capitalize on that mistakes. And so far, Bridgeport hasn't been able to.
One receiver to the near side. Rohrig gets the snap, bounces off one of his blockers, goes backwards, and 2 Bulldogs, Fleming as well as Chalice in on the tackle. Hancock able to wrap up the legs of Rohrig, 2 for the stop to make it 2nd down and 10 with no gain on the play. Reed back out on the field with Rohrig in the backfield. They have one receiver to the near side, that's Hess. And Hess lined up at the near hash marks all alone in man coverage. Snap goes to Reed, who hands it off to Hall. Hall pitches it back to Rohrig, and Rohrig stopped for a loss by Braden Herring, and a flag thrown at the line of scrimmage. 5:59 to go in the fourth.
I think this one's going to back up Bridgeport.
As we wait for the official word from our head referee, Robert Bates, as to what the call is. And he'll make his way out of the huddle of the officials, and you are correct, Dylan. It is a holding penalty against Bridgeport, and to probably the loudest applause of the evening from Martinsburg.
Yeah, Bridgeport really could be a lot closer in this game. They're just not getting it done and getting the ball in the end zone once they start getting the ball down the field.
That makes it a 2nd down and 20 for Bridgeport at Martinsburg's 22. They send Martin in motion, dropping back to pass is Reed, looking to the far side for Martin, overthrows him as it sails out of bounds. In on the coverage was Murphy Clement as well, waiting for the interception. Like the hungry Bulldog he is, that brings up a 3rd down and 20 at the 22.
3rd and 20 is not a situation any team wants to be in.
You have to expect them to pass again.
See, that's the thing. No team wants to be in 3rd and 20. But you see a team like Martinsburg. They can throw the ball down the field. They can get 20 to 30 yards on a pass down on pretty much any play. That's not Bridgeport's game. So this is really tough.
3rd down and 20, 5:39 to go in this fourth quarter between Martinsburg and Bridgeport. Martinsburg on top, 21-3. Reed gives it to Martin on the jet sweep. To the left side goes Martin, and Martin has nowhere to go before giving himself up to Fegan as well as Eric King for a loss of 3 yards on the play. Make it 2 yards, as they say he got to the 24-yard line to bring up a 4th down, and Bridgeport will be forced to go for it as Rohrig will step off the field for this play. Philip Reed breaks the huddle, leading away for Bridgeport, and only one wide receiver to the near side for the Indians, and Reed alone in the backfield. Reed gets the snap, rolls out to his right, looking to pass, and it's thrown in the flat to Hess, and Martin tiptoeing down the sideline and goes out of bounds at the 16-yard line, but a flag is thrown. Should be a turnover on down nonetheless, unless this is against Martinsburg, and then things get interesting.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in particular that stood out.
Bajan and Martinsburg's offense going out onto the field.
I think that might be a hold on the wide receiver for Bridgeport.
And it looks like it is against Bridgeport, so Martinsburg will elect to just decline this penalty and get the ball back with 4:49 to go in the fourth, up 21-8. And it's a block in the back against Bridgeport, but it doesn't matter. Martinsburg has the ball in the lead, 21-3 over Bridgeport. Now the offense hopefully can just drain this clock some more and get to the end of the game, in which Martinsburg will win for the 23rd time in a row in the postseason and advance to the semifinal against Huntington next week. Bajent, shotgun formation, waiting for Cam Shallis to come in as there was only 10 out on the field. And Shallis will go to the right side in the slot. So it's 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. 1st and 10 for Martinsburg at the 11-yard line. Bajent sets, gets the snap from Kaufman, drops back to pass. Brown has pressure on the near side. He jukes past Brown, chucks it deep for Hunter, and over his arms and incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10.
I'm surprised to see them still passing the ball, especially on 1st down at this point in the game. But you do want to try to get out of the shadow of your end zone.
It looks like we have a timeout from the officials, so let's take a break with them. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Thinking about making that big move but don't know where to start? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group. Chris is a Martinsburg High School graduate and knows the local market, and he's proven it for the past 15 years at Milestone Real Estate Group. Looking to sell or buy a home? Phone 304-579-7349. That's 304-579-7349. Or go to callchrisross.com. Making milestones is our business.
WV Medicine is pleased to introduce 6 new providers who've joined our medical staffs at Berkeley Medical Center, Jefferson Medical Center, and University Healthcare Physicians. Dr. Sandeep Kashyap, Thoracic Surgery. Nurse Practitioner Dana Price, Interventional Radiology. Dr. Jessica Rude, Family Medicine. Dr. Michael Seen, Orthopedics. Dr. Emran Sheikh, Orthopedics Hand and Wrist. And Dr. Alexander Shin, Emergency Medicine. WVU Medicine, growing to meet the needs of our community.
Welcome back. 1st down and 15 ball at the 6-yard line for Martinsburg, as during that timeout we were informed that there was a penalty against the Bulldogs, and it was an ineligible man downfield. So with 4:42 to go in this 4th quarter, it's Martinsburg 21, Bridgeport 3. It's Martinsburg in the shadow of its own end zone. Clement gets the snap. He's going to run out to his right, shove a tackler off him, pick up 2 yards on the far side before being tripped up just shy of the 10 at the 8-yard line to bring up a 2nd and 13.
I don't necessarily think that you can say this is an offensive performance from the Bulldogs today to be super proud of, but the defense has been lights out. I mean, 3 points up on the board for this team in Bridgeport that averages almost 400 rushing yards a game, got almost 400 last week against Cabell Midland, and they haven't been able to put the ball in the end zone.
3 receivers to the near side for Clement, 1 to the far side. He has Harrison in the backfield alongside him to his left. Clement sets, gets a snap from Kaufman. Clement comes to the near side, has a blocker in front of him, slips through a tackle out across the 20 at the 21 is where he'll be stopped, but a flag in the back is, looks like at the line of scrimmage it was a block in the back or a holding penalty against Martinsburg again.
Yeah, it was Cam Shallis there as the H-back came in motion before the snap, tried to get that seal block on the edge, and just a straight-up block in the back.
3:45 to go now in the 4th quarter of play. Flags aplenty for Martinsburg tonight. That'll be a half a distance to the goal for Martinsburg, so we'll have to wait and see where they spot the ball. It looks like it's inside the 5 at the 4-yard line for Martinsburg. And Bajent is back out at quarterback now for Martinsburg with Harrison in the backfield at running back. Bajent will have 3 receivers to the far side and 1 receiver to the near side, being Jameer Hunter. Bajent waits for the clock to start winding down. It's now at 3:35 on the game clock, 15 seconds to go on the play clock. Bajent gets the call, sets, drops back, looking to pass, steps up in the pocket, fires it deep in the middle of the field, intended for Hunter, and lands in front of him and incomplete, stopping the clock with 3:24 to go in the 4th quarter to bring up a 3rd down and 18. Interesting decision to still throw the ball.
Yeah, I know you're backed up to the 3-yard line there, and you'd want to try to make this the last possession of the game, perhaps but I think you kind of just slowing the game down at this point. I'm kind of surprised by that.
Martinsburg's up 21-3, 3 minutes, 24 seconds away from heading to the semifinal against the 2 seed Huntington. And now we have a timeout called, and let's take it with them as Martinsburg calls the timeout. We'll take a 60-second break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Jambo Construction and Fencing Company, LLC, is a veteran-owned and operated company right here in the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia that specializes in decks, fencing, and hardscaping. Find us on Facebook at Jambo Construction and Fencing to see more of the projects we've completed. For a free estimate, you can call Bo Bartley at 304-268-5452 or Jamie Gall at 304-279-5053. We are licensed and insured in the state of West Virginia, and as Martinsburg alums, we say, go Bulldogs.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Conveniently located right off 81 at 214 Mid-Atlantic Parkway, Mountaineer Grill and Pub offers many daily specials, including happy hour 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. with $2 domestic bottles and $2.50 domestic drafts. Monday night is trivia night, Thursday night is wing night, and Wednesday and Sunday night is steak night.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Welcome you back to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium. It is 3rd down and 18 for Martinsburg. Ball on its 3-yard line for Martinsburg. 3:24 to go in the 4th quarter. Bajent gets a snap, dropping back to pass in his own end zone, steps up in his pocket, overthrows the intended receiver, goes off the hands of Roman Pearson and incomplete to bring up a 4th down, as Pearson had enough for the first if he was able to make the catch, but was just unable to bring that one in.
Well, now that you pass the ball twice in a row, it puts you in a situation here on 4th down where you're punting from your end zone again.
And Bajent's going to stay out to do so.
Yes, that's tough. Now, of course, running the ball you're not always guaranteed to get positive yardage. Extend that out.
Bajent on to punt. He's standing towards the back of the end zone. Back to return is Martin. His punt from Bajent. Short. Bounces at the 25 and will roll in between the legs of Martin, who just lets it go by him, and it continues to roll out across the 45 and stops at the 46-yard line. So it is a 43-yard punt for Ezra Bajent to make it a 1st down and 10 for Bridgeport with 3:05 to go in the 4th, down 21-3 against Martinsburg.
I think a different kind of offense could have really come in here and given the Bulldogs some problems and potentially upset them today. But not a team predicated on the run so much against this Bulldogs defensive line.
It's Reed and Rohrig in the backfield. Snap goes to Reed. Reed fakes the handoff to Hall before running forward, and then is brought well back behind the line of scrimmage by Rashad Reed. And they exchange a few words before going back to their huddles. No yards gained on the play to bring up a 2nd and 10. I'll say he actually gained about a yard, so make it a 2nd and 9 at the 45-yard line. 2.5 to go in the 4th. Bridgeport breaks the huddle. It is Reed with Rohrig to his left, and no receivers in the formation of the wing T. Handoff. This time goes to Rohrig, and Rohrig will be met by Hunter, Chalice, and Pearson, and they all tackle him backwards after a gain of 3 to bring up a 3rd down and 6.
You can't say enough about what the Bulldogs have put together in stopping the run today. I mean, obviously, we talked about how they're over 100 yards, well over the average of what the Bulldogs usually give up, but it's the amount of attempts that has really done that.
3rd and 7 ball at the 43. Handoff goes to Brazier, and Brazier will be stopped at the 40-yard line, and a late flag thrown on the play with 1:43 to go in the 4th.
Just thrown in there right at the end towards the tackle.
Both teams go back to their huddles, and the penalty is a personal foul face mask penalty against Martinsburg. And that's a 15-yard penalty to make it a first down for Bridgeport.
We got another note here from our producer, Braden Schaffner. The reason Ezra Bajan has been punting today is because Jazir Spruce is out with a concussion.
So it's 1st and 10 for Bridgeport as the ball at the 26-yard line of Martinsburg with 90 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Martinsburg 21, Bridgeport 3. Dropping back to pass is Reed, and Reed, almost sacked by Reed, able to slip through a tackle, eventually is sacked on the play. And in making the tackle was Fagan. And Eric King in on the sack as well. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 at the 26. And there is 1 minute left in the ball game. Bridgeport breaks the huddle. Clock under a minute at 55 seconds. It's Roehrig and Reed alone in the backfield. Snap goes to Roehrig. He follows Reed with a block. Lowers his shoulder, tries to keep his feet going, but is eventually pushed back by Hancock as well as Chalice for a gain of 3. That brings up a 3rd down. 30 seconds to go as Martinsburg pumping up their fans as they realize that the Bulldogs are heading to the state semifinal in Class AAA next week with a 21-3 lead right now and 15 seconds to go. Bridgeport has one final play left. Snap back to to Reed, and Reed will get a first down for Bridgeport, so that stops the clock at 6.5 seconds for them to move the chains. But I think both teams will decide that that'll be that as they meet at midfield. And the clock winds down to triple zeros, and your Martinsburg Bulldogs get the win over Bridgeport. Final score 21-3, and Martinsburg will head to Huntington next week to take on the Huntington Highlanders with a trip to Wheeling Island Stadium on the line next week. Both teams shake hands, the bands play, and we'll take a 2-minute break and then be back for your Palace Lounge post-game show. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Jambo Construction and Fencing Company, LLC, is a veteran-owned and operated company right here in the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia that specializes in decks, fencing, and hardscaping. Find us on Facebook at Jambo Construction and Fencing to see more of the projects we've completed. For a free estimate, you can call Bo Bartley at 304-268-5452 or Jamie Gall at 304-279-5053. We are licensed and insured in the state of West Virginia, and as Martinsburg alums, we say, Go Bulldogs.
If you're in an accident, the first thing that you have to do is call 911. You have to get medical care immediately.
The next thing you need to do is call us. When you hire us at the Skinner Law Firm, what we do is we are going to investigate your case, and we're going to lay out the options that you have, all at no cost to you.
We will use all of our resources and all of our experience to get you what you deserve.
The Skinner Law Firm, SkinnerFirm.com. At the Berkeley County Health Department, our motto is Prevent, Promote, Protect. Since 1935, our mission has been to provide clinical and environmental services to protect the health of the general public. We're committed to building public health in our community by offering a wide range of services, including blood pressure screening, breast and cervical screening, family planning, counseling, lab testing, and more. We perform health inspections to make sure the restaurants you visit are clean, and we prepare and coordinate plans to respond to all hazards. The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court, Martinsburg.
Stadium in Martinsburg, West Virginia is country roads, serenades the Bulldog faithful as the final score, Martinsburg 21, Bridgeport 3. Your Martinsburg Bulldogs win its 23rd straight postseason game, the 42nd of the past 44, and again head to the state semifinals as it will be a state championship rematch of last year at Wheeling Island Stadium, in which Martinsburg got a huge win over the Huntington Highlanders, but this time it's for the semifinal with a trip to Wheeling Island on the line, and it's at Huntington, and we were told earlier this week that it will be Saturday at 1:30, which means a 12:30 pregame show on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube. I'm Colin McLaughlin. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop as we welcome you into the Palace Lounge post-game show. The Palace Lounge, let me pull up the read here, located on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg with a full lunch and dinner menu, daily specials, and a clean, comfortable atmosphere. Check out the menu on the Palace Lounge Facebook page. The rest of our crew is Spencer Dupuis, who we'll hear from shortly. Braden Schaffner is our executive producer, and our main camera guy is Matt Miller. Back at the studio is Nick Verzolini. You'll hear from him later on at the end of this post-game show with some final scores from the college football world as well as around the high school football playoffs this week for AAA, AA, and Single A as Martinsburg breaks the huddle on the field. And we'll wait for Spencer to get with Coach Sherman, who right now is going out with Spencer Dupuis. And let's now send it to Spencer with the victorious head coach, Britt Sherman. Spencer. Spencer, make sure that your microphone is turned on, please. We cannot hear you.
You got me now?
Yes, we do.
All right. Defensive led win for your team tonight, and that second half, the whole game only allowing 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, if they can't score, they can't beat us. And, you know, those guys on the defensive side of the ball, Coach Hash, Coach O, Coach Jenkins, Coach Rose, all the other coaches, those guys do a great job. Get onto it. Play a team like that 2 years in a row, only left for 3 points in 2 years. That's great. They shut down. Nobody else. They really done. So kudos to those guys. It was great. How's it feel? Oh, I heard on the side that pass now, and then boom, he did it. Yeah, I mean those guys prepare so much. For high school coaches, they're the best in the region. They prepare so much that they know what's coming the next play. So if the kids listen to them, respond to them, then the kids know what's going on, and they do a great job coaching them up. And then obviously getting to practice Thanksgiving week, big thing. You guys have practice on Thanksgiving. Then you'll head down to Huntington on Friday for a Saturday game, and obviously great to practice on Thanksgiving. Yeah, great to always practice on Thanksgiving. That's, you know, it's football weather. People who complain about it being cold, I was like, it's just football weather. And so being able to practice on Thanksgiving is a blessing. These guys have worked really hard for it since January, and, you know, like I said, I'm proud of them. We'll take a business trip to Huntington next Saturday. All right. Thanks, Coach. Best of luck. We'll be there. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Bring in Rashad Reed, the EPAC Defensive Player of the Year this year, all-around beast in his first season here at Martinsburg. And it was a tough team tonight that you had to face, a team that runs a unique style of ball, and you guys really shut them down at that first level tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, we had stuff we got to work on more defense to be more efficient, but I think overall, as a defense, we had a pretty solid game. And obviously for you guys late in that third quarter, into that fourth quarter, that big fourth down stop. Yeah, that definitely it's all about the flow. I mean, just that big fourth down stop just helped us get the energy back, right back to offense. And for you, as I just mentioned coming into the interview, your first year here at Martinsburg, you get the EPAC Defensive Player of the Year, and it's obviously a big honor, but for a guy just coming in here, getting used to how everything's played around here, it's a big accomplishment, man. Thank you. And, I mean, I like it. I'm proud of myself, but all I know is that this level ain't good. I just got to work hard, shoot for the stars. All right, wanted on that. Thanks for the time and best of luck. We'll be there next Saturday. Yes, sir. All right, back up to you, Colin.
Thank you to Spencer for his great job down on the field, being our sideline camera and reporter. Thank you to Coach Britt Sherman as well as Rashad Reed as your Martinsburg Bulldogs improved now to 10-2 on the year with a 21-3 win over the Bridgeport Indians and advance to the semifinals next week to take on the Huntington Highlanders. So what we're going to do now is take a 3-minute break, and on the other side of that break, give you our post-game stats as well as our awards for this evening. You're tuned in to West Virginia High School Football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Annette McDonald, and I am the designer at Orsini's in Martinsburg, West Virginia. We welcome you into our store to show you a complete line of what we do here. We design your cabinetry, quartz countertops, granite countertops, hardware, anything for the full remodel of your kitchen and your home needs. We also do bathrooms, and we have flooring available too. We make sure that your project with Orsini's is the best in the market. Welcome to Orsini's.
Orsini's.com. Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be this football season. Join us Fridays for Martinsburg Bulldog games, Saturdays for Shepherd Rams and WVU games, and every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday nights for the NFL primetime games. We still have steak night every Wednesday, shrimp nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. So come on in and enjoy the Palace Lounge. We're located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
I'm Jonathan Bodwell, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare and life insurance agency. We are here to help you navigate the Medicare maze. We represent all of the major carriers, and you do not pay any more to go through us than if you go directly through a carrier. But if you go through us, you have a local professional to help you with all your Medicare needs, not a voice that could be in some other part of the world. Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare agency. BodwellInsuranceSolutions.com or 304-283-0864.
Asha Hornby here. Larry DeMarco, broker of Modern Realty Results, believes he has some of the best real estate agents in the Eastern Panhandle. Agents at Modern Realty Results have years of experience and knowledge of the local real estate market. Agents within the office work as a team to provide quality customer service. We strive to always ensure client satisfaction through handling every transaction with honesty and integrity, all while offering competitive rates. Modern Realty Results is veteran-owned and managed. Please call us at 262-4222, modernrealtyresults.com.
The Parsons Ford Unimaginable Black Friday sale is going on now. Ford Explorers factory invoice pricing, Ford Expeditions factory invoice pricing, and Ford F-150s factory invoice pricing. That's right, you didn't hear me wrong. Factory invoice pricing. That's way below MSRP. Only at Parsons Ford this week. But wait, there's more. Are you worried about high interest rates? We've got you covered. We're offering 2.9% for this sale. Stop on by Parsons Ford today for this unimaginable Black Friday sale.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Thinking about making that big move but don't know where to start? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group. Chris is a Martinsburg High School graduate and knows the local market, and he's proven it for the past 15 years at Milestone Real Estate Group. Looking to sell or buy a home? Phone 304-579-7349. That's 304-579-7349. Or go to callchrisross.com. Making milestones is our business.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Palace Lounge post-game show. Your final score, Martinsburg 21, Bridgeport 3. Let's now get into our post-game stats brought to you by Bechtel Jewelers, West Virginia's largest Pandora retailer on Route 11 south of Inwood, taking care of you like nobody's business. Dylan, post-game stats, please.
So Ezra Bajan ended up 17 for 27 with 263 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, an interception. Even if it was kind of a sloppy day, those are pretty solid stats to end up with. Zion Grantham ended up having 10 carries for 31 yards. Then we also had Murphy Clement, who had 33 rushing yards for himself. He also added in 4 catches for 91 receiving yards. It was a big day all around for some of these guys when it came to the receiving game. You had Roman Pearson, who had 4 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. Jameer Hunter had 4 catches for 82 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns as well. And on the Bridgeport side of things, the best they could do running the ball was Rohrig, who had 19 carries for 75 yards, and Reed having 15 carries for 57 yards. And only 3 points on the board to show for it.
Alrighty, there you go. Those are your post-game stats. Let's now get into our awards for this evening and start with the electrifying play of the game, brought to you by Orsini's Home Store, not just an appliance store any longer. Visit them at 360 Hack Wilson Way in Martinsburg or go to Orsinis.com. Do you have any electrifying play of the game, Dylan?
You know, it's a little harder to decide than most games has been, but I'm going to give this one to Jameer Hunter's second touchdown that he had, a 30-yard touchdown. Put the kind of the exclamation point on this one, and I mean Jameer Hunter, he's electrifying as ever. 30 yards is kind of the biggest touchdown of the day for the Bulldogs. A little shorter than usual, but still got the job done.
All right, let's now get our collision of the game, brought to you by Cody's Body Shop at 851 Wilson Street in Martinsburg, family-owned, offering superior customer service at great pricing for a job done by experienced, certified technicians. Phone 304-901-4777 or visit their Facebook page.
I think this one has to go to the Bulldogs' defense for that fourth down stop that they had very early in the game, right there down towards the goal line. 4th and goal from the 4. Bridgeport was not able to smash that in and get that touchdown. They were not able to get any touchdowns on the board today. So, and it was
Eric King.
That was the difference. Yeah, give it to Eric King.
He made the stop on that one. So congratulations to Eric King for the collision of the game. Let's now get our good hands catch of the game, brought to you by Kelly Allstate Insurance. For all of your insurance needs, call Gary Kelly at 304-263-4596 or stop by 724 Lakeview Drive in Martinsburg.
And this one I'll go with the first passing touchdown that Ezra Bajent had today. This one going to Roman Pearson. Roman Pearson with that corner route. They ran a 16-yard touchdown to first put the Bulldogs on the board, and that was the only touchdown they would have ended up needing for today, and everyone after that just ended up being icing on the cake.
So I know I'm going to put you on the spot and kind of drag it out. Was that Pearson's first touchdown catch of the year? I know you got to look back, and I'm pretty sure it was because I don't remember him having any because of his injury.
It was. He only came into this game with 7 catches for 96 yards on the entire season, and he ended up with 4 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown today.
So there you go. And last but not least, our player of the game, brought to you by Bodwell Insurance Solutions, a local professional to help you with all of your Medicare needs. Visit BodwellInsuranceSolutions.com or call 304-283-0864.
Part of me wants to just give it to the Bulldogs defense as a whole for the way that they slowed down the rushing attack of Bridgeport. But I think you got to point out one guy. It's been the guy that's been doing it all year long for the Bulldogs up front, stopping the run game. Guy that's had 18.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks on the year.
And that was going into tonight.
Spencer interviewed him after the game. He's the Impact Defensive Player of the Year, Rashad Reed.
So there you go. Those are our awards. Your final score, Martinsburg 21, Bridgeport 3, as Bridgeport season comes to an end with a 9-3 record. Martinsburg advances to the state semifinals next week to take on Huntington in Huntington. That game most likely will be Saturday at 1:30. So our pregame on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube will be at 12:30, which also means for those that want to see Shepherd, we will not be covering that game as they take on Slippery Rock. But we'll now sign off from Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium for our great crew, Nick Verzolini, back at the studio, who you will hear from shortly. Matt Miller helping us out both games today. We appreciate him, even though he retired from the booth last year, still coming to help us out as a cameraman whenever we need him. It's always a fun time when Matt's around us at Talk Radio WRNR. Braden Schaffner, our executive producer, Spencer Dupuis, our camera guy and sideline reporter. For Dylan Bishop, I'm Colin McLaughlin, signing off from Martinsburg High School. Martinsburg 21, Bridgeport 3. Until next week, have a great weekend, everybody.
Brown Funeral Home is proud to be one of the hundreds of veterans and family memorial care providers across America participating in the 13th annual Christmas Stockings for Soldiers and Veterans Initiative. From now through December 1st, please stop into the funeral home and pick up a free Christmas stocking. You may stop by the funeral home Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. to pick up your stocking to take home, decorate, and stuff with Christmas cheer. You will receive a list of recommended items along with the free stocking. Brown Funeral Home will deliver the stocking at their expense to troops abroad and veterans here at home in time for Christmas. Brown Funeral Home is located at 327 West King Street in Martinsburg.
Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for Dollar Wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the Cornhole Tourney, Friday Night Lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for Steak Night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
Hi, it's Talk Radio WRNR and TV10 Spencer Dupuis. When I got into a car accident and needed to get another vehicle, I wanted to go somewhere I could trust. So I went to the Heffley Motor Company at 993 Hedgesville Road.
As a first-time car buyer, I really didn't know what to expect. But at Heffley, they treated me like family. Every step in the process was seamless. Not only did they give me a great deal, but they also helped me secure an amazing interest rate. Now I know firsthand why Heffley has such a great reputation in this community.
I ride with Heffley Motor Company, so you should too.
Hello, this is Mark Sutton of the Sutton & Janelle Law Firm. The right attorney can make all the difference in your case. That's why you should call Sutton & Janelle. We have been serving clients in West Virginia and Maryland since 1999 in the areas of family law, DUI, criminal defense, and personal injury. Sutton & Janelle works hard to obtain a favorable outcome for you at a reasonable rate with affordable payment options. Sutton & Janelle values your rights and is passionate about your success. Contact us today at suttonandjanelle.com.
Before the invitations and the dress, the flowers, cake, candles, or vows, there was an answer to a question proposed with a ring.
Bechtel Jewelers knows that an important part of your wedding happens before the I-dos. We're a diamond store with an engagement and bridal jewelry selection that's both exciting and accessible.
On the big day, there's everything else, and there's the ring. Make sure you get this one right at Bechtel Jewelers in Inwood.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? No matter what you think, you can have it either way. Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
Rise and shine. You're gonna be late for work. Good morning, sleepyhead. Have a good one.
Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
We welcome you into the Extra Point Scoreboard Show. I'm Nick Verzolini. Let's run down these final scores in the Mountain State over the past 2 days in the AAA quarterfinals. The Parkersburg South Patriots defeat the Musselman-Applemen 58-14. Huntington knocks off Jefferson today 51-7. Hurricane beats up on George Washington 56-28. And the game you just tuned into, the best game of the weekend, and it wasn't very close, but it was a weird kind of game where Bridgeport was in the red zone several times but did not finish those drives. Very similar to last year. Martinsburg gets the win 21-3 to advance to the semifinals, where they'll head to Huntington next week to take on the Highlanders. In terms of the rest of the high school football scores in AA and single A, some good games in AA. Herbert Hoover beats number 1 Winfield 27-26 in a classic there. Independence stomps Fairmont Senior 42-7 to remain undefeated. North Marion gets a 1-point win over Roane County 13-12. And Frankfort beats Scott 41-6 in single A. James Monroe beats Greenbrier West 48-13. Williamstown knocks off East Tardy 49-6. Doddridge County over Cameron 21-6. And Wheeling Central beats Wamama 48-14. In terms of if you're traveling next week for the Martinsburg game, as the Dogs will head to Huntington, and maybe you're worried a little bit about traffic and stuff like that, well, the Marshall Thundering Herd do have its senior day next Saturday as well, and that's a noon kickoff. The good thing is Huntington High School is kind of on the outskirts of Huntington a little bit, so it's not directly in the city, so you should be able to avoid some of the game day traffic, but you do want to obviously head down a little early when the Herd are in town, or if you plan on staying down in Huntington, you want to probably take care of that now because those prices will go up quite a bit for a Marshall home game. So just a little bit of advice for our Martinsburg fans that are planning on making the trip to go to that game, which should be a really good football game. But, hey, you don't have to make the trip. We'll have it for you right here on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube as well as Talk Radio WRNR. So let's run down some college football because it has been a crazy day in college football. South Carolina is currently leading number 5 Tennessee 42-31. I don't know what is going on in Arkansas, but Ole Miss, number 14 in the country, Ole Miss trails 5-5 Arkansas 42-6. And you thought that was crazy. Well, number 22 Oklahoma State is losing to Oklahoma, 5-5 Oklahoma, who just lost to West Virginia 28-3. UCLA leads USC. Good football game there, 21-20. LSU on top of UAB, 21-10. Georgia beats Kentucky. Good one today earlier between Maryland and Ohio State. Maryland just comes up short of pulling off the upset. The final there was 43-30, but realistically it was a closer game. That was about 36-30 before a last-second touchdown because the Buckeyes, the 13-point win. Michigan barely survives against Indiana, 19-17. TCU needs a last-second field goal to beat Baylor, 29-28. Let's see here. Any other good ones? Georgia Tech upsets North Carolina 21-17. The Mountaineers did come up short today, 48-31. Pretty good effort in some ways offensively for West Virginia, but just couldn't keep pace with Kansas State. And unfortunately, it will be another losing season for the Mountaineers under head coach Neil Brown, which we could be getting closer to the end, but who knows. Any other good ones here? Navy beats UCF. That's an upset there. The midshipmen get the win, 17-14 over UCF. Oregon State wins over Arizona State. Louisville upsets NC State, 25-10, 24th ranked team. And Cincinnati beats Temple, 23-3. So that's really the top 25. Marshall got the win today for our Thundering Herd fans in the Eastern Panhandle over Georgia State. It will be Georgia Southern, I believe, next week when the Herd play host for Senior Day. But Marshall gets the win here today. Pretty good win. 23-10 over Georgia Southern. Cam Fancher throws 2 touchdowns in the win. Marshall sees the return of Rasheen Ali in the backfield. He runs for 79 yards. Laburn combines for 70. Fancher adds 63. It's a total of 255 rushing yards for Marshall on 54 attempts. Only one score on the ground, but hey, pretty good day for the Thundering Herd. 23-10 win. Marshall improves to 7-4, 4-3 in conference play. And then the other game that you could have tuned into earlier today, the Shepherd University Rams were victorious over the, New Haven Chargers. It feels so long ago now. But they beat New Haven today. Good ball game there, 16-13 correction from Dylan Bishop. He informed me that Tyson Bagent actually didn't throw a touchdown pass against Shippensburg in 2019, so it's been now 3 games in his career where he hasn't thrown a touchdown, but he did break the NCAA Division II passing yards record today for most career yards in a career. Ronnie Brown goes for 223 yards and 2 scores as Shepherd gets the win over New Haven. Will advance to the next round of the postseason. Unfortunately, we will not be able to cover it, and Shepherd plays host to Slippery Rock for a noon kickoff next week. And Shepherd's down because, well, we have never missed a Martinsburg game in 30 years, so we're not going to start now. But that does it here for us. Once again, your final score tonight. Dogs win 21-3 over Bridgeport It's on to the semifinals for what should be a fun game with last year's state championship rematch against the Huntington Highlanders. I'm Nick Verzolini saying have a good night, everyone, and hope you join us again next week. Have a good Thanksgiving as well. We'll talk to you on the Sports Mix at noon on Monday, but this is Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Annette McDonald, and I am the designer at Orsini's in Martinsburg, West Virginia. We welcome you into our store to show you a complete line of what we do here. We design your cabinetry, quartz countertops, granite countertops, hardware, anything for the full remodel of your kitchen and your home needs. We also do bathrooms, and we have flooring available too. We make sure that your project with Orsini's is the best in the market. Welcome to Orsini's.
Orsini's.com. The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be this football season. Join us Fridays for Martinsburg Bulldog games, Saturdays for Shepherd Rams and WVU games, and every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday nights for the NFL primetime games. We still have steak night every Wednesday, shrimp nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. So come on in and enjoy the Palace Lounge. We're located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. Looking for some nightlife? Then look no further. Laddie's Bar & Grill has a full bar and kitchen, pool table, and entertainment with great food at affordable prices. You can dine in or carry out by calling us at 304-263-5233. Laddie's is open Monday through Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 3 a.m. We serve breakfast all day long, and our lunch and dinner specials are posted every day on our Facebook page. So stop on in to Laddie's Bar & Grill, located at 107 Lutz Avenue in Martinsburg.
I'm Jonathan Bodwell, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare and life insurance agency. We are here to help you navigate the Medicare maze. We represent all of the major carriers, and you do not pay any more to go through us than if you go directly through a carrier. But if you go through us, you have a local professional to help you with all your Medicare needs, not a voice that could be in some other part of the world. Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare agency. BodwellInsuranceSolutions.com or 304-283-0864.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilson Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
That concludes today's postgame show. Be sure to tune in each week throughout the regular and postseason for more West Virginia high school football. Today's game has been brought to you by
Bechtel Jewelers, the Brown Funeral Homes and Cremations, Chris Ross with the Milestone Real Estate Group, the Skinner Law Firm, Hagerstown Ford, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Myriads Group of Financial Advisors, Orsini's Home Store, Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, Sutton and Janelle Attorneys at Law, CMA Honda of Winchester, and WVU Medicine.
For the best in high school, college, and NFL coverage all season long. Keep it tuned in to Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg. All rights reserved.